What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details.
Woohoo!
Woo! Yay! Hooray!
This week, we're talking about a movie. It was on Disney. A Disney movie, so you can watch it at your home, but also at a theater.
Whoa.
There's more interesting things
That's
about
so
the movie.
unlike
We'll save it.
many of the movies we've done recently. It's very unlike those.
Yeah. And they probably, I don't know. Have we figured out what the thought process is behind when they charge you for it and when they don't? Because
it seems like for Disney, I believe, so just speaking to Disney Plus, if it's a Pixar movie, we don't charge you. And if it's anything else, we charge you.
Anything
Right?
else that's not Artemis Fowl.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Did they charge us for Raya? I can't remember.
They did charge us for
They
Raya,
did.
which was not a Pixar movie. That
Right,
was Disney
yeah.
Animation.
That's true. You can tell because it wasn't as good. No, I'm just kidding. It was fine. I don't know. What's the balance like? Pixar's back on top after Luca, but
I still haven't seen Luca.
Luca rules.
Luca's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just like a nice kind of brisk, it's an allegory for them being gay or something. So it's simple as opposed to visualizing the afterlife and all that nonsense.
Right.
And creating an entire world where everybody does magic. It's not that I think those are bad, but I do like a nice little movie where there's just a couple of sea monsters and that's mostly it, and then a bunch of Italians. And calamity ensues when the Italians meet the sea monsters. I don't know. I think it's fun. Plus, cats love it. But, guys, we're not talking about Luca. We're talking about another movie with water-based monster things, kind of.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
And that was given to us by the great Walt Disney himself. Thank you so much, Walt Disney, for blessing us with another movie.
It descended from his frozen brow.
Yeah, how many movies in the Walt Disney catalog are about someone getting immortality? And how much of that do you think is Walt Disney being like, you're going to make movies about getting immortality? And then eventually someone's going to figure it out. And then you're going to take my head and you're going to feed it petals or whatever, or give it a piece of ancient cursed gold. And then I'll be back. Maybe that's what happened. We'll never know.
I thought you were going to ask how many Disney movies are based on rides, and three off the top of my head, right? So there's Jungle Cruise, and then Pirates of the Caribbean, and there is a Haunted Mansion movie starring Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
That's true.
Does the Country Bears Jamboree, does that count as a ride?
Yeah,
that's an attraction, but they made a movie of that.
Yeah, it's a gray area.
What do you mean?
Splash Mountain. Look.
Well, see, that's a ride based on a movie.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's got to be the other way around.
That's true.
Yeah, otherwise it's Star Wars. They made that movie after they made the ride. Although Star Tours is pretty early. Star Tours has original characters that have transitioned. Mostly just that little DJ robot.
That's true.
Speaking of Star Wars, I did want to bring this up this week because it's kind of relevant. It's very relevant, actually. So in Disney World, you can go on a jungle cruise, but also you could go on a flying hotel cruise for $1 bazillion. We just got information about whatever it's called. Star Cruise? Is that what it's called? No, it can't be.
I think it's called the Galactic Cruise, Galaxy's Edge Galactic Cruise or something like that.
What do you guys think of that? What have you heard about it so far?
I read everything. So my favorite part was there's an FAQ, and one of the questions is, do I actually go to space? And they're like, no, you don't actually go to space.
Man,
what do you think we have, Jeff
for that
Bezos
much money? You send me to space. $900 a person. I mean,
well,
it's so
thankfully
hard.
they do have they have a cheaper offering that you pay a lot less, but you do end up trampled by a horse alien at the end of your stay.
I was going to say they have a cheaper option where you instead work at the park and put on makeup and they pay you. But also, it's actually probably a pretty good job when you really get down to it. But also, you have to work on a cruise ship, technically, which is hell on earth, probably. I don't know.
Did you guys look at the pricing?
Yeah, it's way too much.
Yeah.
But is it? Who knows,
right,
depending on the value. I don't know.
The low end... So remember, it's only a 2-night thing, right? so it's pretty short. Your quote-unquote galactic cruise where they give you like an adventure, and you have like a tailored adventure that you embark on during the thing. For 2 people, it's $5,000.
That's... Even for the one-person part of it, that's more money than I spend on, like, entire vacations.
And for a longer time, and probably to nicer places.
Yeah, I mean, do you get stuff? Free stuff?
I mean, it's like
get
all-inclusive in terms of, like,
bill.
the food, like how a cruise is.
That's something, I guess.
Right, but I mean, you also still got to spend the money to get there.
A horrible disease and go like Alaska.
Oh yeah, that's true. Jeez, they have the cool lightsaber there. People dress up like aliens and stuff.
Oh man, could I get Rey's iconic yellow lightsaber?
Yes, you actually can.
I mean, at this point, I imagine it's like you're on this cruise and the Empire takes over and you have to, give codes to them or something, to the good guys and sneak around or whatever. I wish it was like laser tag where you got to pick a side and then you just had like bad laser battles in the hallway. That'd be kind of fun.
48 hours of just playing
just
laser
like
tag.
huge,
at dinner,
like corridors and shit. Yeah.
And whichever side loses gets executed.
That's right. But then at the end, R2-D2 saves you in an ATST walker. And then it's like, look at me, I'm in the walker. And you're like, wasn't this the ball one? And it's like, yeah, Nando already forgot about what happens in that movie.
It would be amazing if, like, it turned into this crazy intense thing where, like, during dinner, like, I don't know, someone for the First Order or Sith or however they're fucking doing it just, like, comes in and, like, kills, like, one of the guests, and it's like, I'm in charge now, bitches. And it's like, oh, wow, this really is immersive. I'm getting my money's worth.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God. Can you imagine, though? Like, what if... Oh, my goodness. Mortimer is not attacking, but he's nuzzling the mic. I'm very
really
lovey
excited.
for no reason. Can you imagine if, like, some, like, bank robbers decided to rob this, and they all dressed up in Star Wars outfits, and they were all like, all right, everyone, take out your purses. It's me, Darth Flansley, and I'm here.
Darth Steely.
Yeah, I'm here to get all the galactic credits and credit cards and valuables. Yeah, like, because this is Westworld. We're making Westworld for people now, which is pretty wild.
Well, not quite yet. You can't murder the castmates yet.
And you can't fuck them yet.
Yeah. I mean, you can if you play your cards right, I guess.
Yeah, you can if you're especially charismatic.
That would be an amazing quest line. Seduce a Twi'lek.
I mean, like, that would be pretty cool, actually. Not like, but it would be kind of cool.
It would be kind of cool. If it was all consensual, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, like, not if it was part of a quest, but if you just were at the bar and you, like, really clicked with, like, an alien
That would
person.
be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
It's a good thing that nobody's significant other is here listening to this, because that could make things awkward later.
I mean, I just think that's a wild sell for a cruise. It's like, because I feel like on a cruise, it's probably not expected, but, like, I imagine the entertainers also do the cruise. Like they probably eat at the...
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never been on a cruise. Do they eat with the people?
I imagine.
Right? So, like, you probably filter, especially, like, the lower, like, not, like, super headliner comedians, but, like, you hang out with them and you, like, interact with them. And it's just, like, that's wild. Oh, my God.
Just use Tinder on it, see if you match with anybody.
Yeah. Where'd you meet Mommy? Well, I was a human, and she was a Rancor. She was in a Rancor puppet.
Wow. Damn, Nando,
Yeah.
you a freak.
Nando likes him tough.
I mean, listen, I can only remember the name of one Star Wars alien race at a time.
I
and
literally
we already
just
did
said
Twi'lek.
one, like, not 5 minutes ago, but it's cool.
Well, that's the one we said, so I can't say that one again. I say new ones.
Well,
the people
if you
come
wanted a
here
more
to
realistic...
mostly nitpicking for real hot content where we name all the aliens in Star Wars. Diggins, you can name one now.
I was going to say, if you wanted a more realistic joke option, you could have said a Gamorrean. Those are the pig people.
Yeah.
Oh. What's the one that they added that does a song in Rise of Revenge of
God.
I don't even remember.
I don't know the name of the
called.
species.
Return of the
Narrow
Jedi.
mouth.
I know the name of that specific alien. I don't know the name of the species.
What would they have to do to make you want to go to this for the money it costs?
Make it so for the money. Actually, go to space.
Nothing. Make it longer. I don't know.
What if like Dexter Jettster was there? What if he's at the canteen serving you food?
Wait,
like a guy with robot arms.
I was going to say, hold on, wait. Do you mean an actor playing Dexter Jettster, or do you mean the real Dexter Jettster?
I mean, who can tell at this point? Animatronic technology is so good, you'll have to find out the hard way.
Michelle actually has one. Michelle, do you want to share?
Yeah, they should turn you into a Jedi for that price. I want the powers of a Jedi.
Yeah.
Whoa. Michelle, you're here.
Yeah.
Surprise!
I was trying to go like the no introduction and just like she's like here the whole time, like whatever.
Much like
well,
a
you
Jedi,
should have run that by me
before
that, because I'm blowing up that spot.
For these things, it's always on the fly. We do
That's
no show
fair.
prep. We hit record.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I always used to say, God, what was it? Fact-checking will ruin this podcast.
Yes, I agree.
So speaking of that, this week we're talking about, I mean, that crazy real fake cruise. But now we're also talking about the movie about the fake real cruise, I guess. Jungle Cruise, Disney's Jungle Cruise.
I think it's a real fake cruise.
Yes.
It's a real fake cruise, but the other one's a fake real cruise, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I mean,
Jungle Cruise is a real fake cruise.
Wait, Jungle Cruise the ride or Jungle Cruise the movie?
Jungle Cruise the ride.
Jungle Cruise the ride is a real fake cruise, yeah.
Either way it works.
The Star Wars one is a fake real cruise. Yeah.
No,
and
it's
also,
just a real cruise.
It is a real
or it's also a fake real cruise.
But with fiction associated to it. Yeah, like, yeah. But it's not a real cruise because you're not cruising. You're not going anywhere. There's no travel.
It's a fake
Yeah,
cruise.
that's true.
Yeah, at least with Jungle Cruise, you do technically move.
Yeah, the movie is a real fake cruise. Or a fake real cruise. Because it's fake, it's a movie, but the thing they're doing is a real cruise.
That's right. And, yeah, we're going to talk about that movie. We're going to do all the normal stuff we do. But first, we wanted to have on someone who, I mean, I'm not speaking for DJ Diggins here, but for myself, I don't know a single thing about this ride. And I've ridden it, but I forgot it because I was 10. So I wanted to get information on what it is and stuff, and just like other Disney thoughts. But we have our Disney expert on the podcast who has already been introduced like twice, I guess.
Michael Eisner. Welcome to the podcast,
Michael Eisner. Bob Iger. The other one. Bob something else. We got them all. All the Disney CEOs are here. Everyone do your best Disney CEO impression. I don't know. I've never seen them talk. They probably have like nerdy voices, you know? They're probably like
white guys.
We got all this content. Actually, that's Mickey. Maybe they're all possessed by Mickey Mouse. But anyway, this is Michelle. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
Now, what is Jungle Cruise? Can you explain Jungle Cruise, the actual physical thing that exists? I don't even want to call it a ride. Is it a ride? It's a ride.
It's a ride.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ride.
It's not like a thrill ride, but it's like a seated experience
It's
thing.
what I like to call, in Disney World, they have rides that are experience rides.
Yeah.
Where you sit in a thing and it moves you around and it basically just tells a story around you. I call those experience rides because they're technically rides, but it's not like a thrilling ride. It's just like you are sitting through a story. And that's what Jungle Cruise is.
Is it good? Is it it's old, right? It's an older ride?
Oh, yeah. It's old. It's old. It's like probably one of the original ones, and I want to say that it has probably it's one of the ones that they have not done a ton of updates on it, like, throughout the years. Like, they've probably fixed the animatronics and stuff like that, but, like, they have not updated any of the, like, content, any of the animatronics. They might have fixed them, but it's pretty dated.
I think they de-racisted it recently.
They did. They recently de-raced.
They got rid of, like, some skull trader or something.
And, well, it was something with the natives, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that was most assuredly the most racist part of the ride.
I would imagine. Yeah. Is The Rock going to be in the ride, we think? Remember how they put Johnny Depp in Pirates? Do you think
Yeah, they added the Johnny depth animatronic.
I'm sure they'll add The Rock somehow.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I want The
Because
Rock tying a rope around a pole, just like the most boring thing he did in the movie, but just like show us that.
Well, see, the tricky part is The Rock played the skipper in the movie, and the skipper is always the one who's captaining the boat on the ride. Like, he's the one who's like leading the ride. So I don't know where they would put an additional skipper in the ride itself.
Well, he could be like the Spaniard, like at the end of the movie.
Oh, like they just add a Rock animatronic?
Or something with Spaniards.
What if they made him the Nazi? What if they made Jesse Plemons in it? I guess he's not a Nazi. But just like, you don't see him, but every couple minutes the ride operator's like, by the way, we're being chased by Germans. Kind of friendly Germans, but they're bad, you know? The kind that wave at you. Yeah, in a submarine. Oh, that's in my notes. Do you like this ride, Michelle? Is this one of your favorite rides?
I really enjoy this ride, but mostly because the whole ride is just the skipper telling puns. Throughout the entire ride is just the skipper telling puns. And I get such pure joy out of that. It's always funny, and it's never the same, because it's not like they're following a script. It's like there's certain notes that they have to say during each go-around, but they all have their own special twist on it. So every time you ride the ride, as long as you have a different skipper, you're basically getting a different ride. And it's fun.
Not to correct our expert here, but I did some preliminary research. There is, in fact, a script, although it is tradition and a point of pride among many skippers to not strictly adhere to it.
Right.
Yeah. It feels like that would be fun. Now, in the ride, do all of the skippers say all their puns like they have a gun to their head like The Rock does in this movie, or do they act like they're enjoying it? Like, I feel like the vibe has to be that second thing a little bit, right?
Honestly, no, sometimes it's pretty, it's, a lot of them are very, like, monotone joke. Like, they just say it. Honestly, I think that they say it pretty similar to how The Rock says it. Like, Dean, we went on this not too long ago.
Yeah.
Because we went together.
Yeah.
Remember how the guy told the jokes? It's not like they're saying it like stand-up comedians say it. They say it pretty, like, matter-of-factly, like...
So I think there's a slight difference to where, depending on your skipper, like we had one who his delivery style was to do it deadpan, but I don't think The Rock was doing deadpan because he was doing like weird, like smiley, with like trying to inject some of that, like, you know, what we call charisma for The Rock into it. But it was like, I think there was an awkwardness to it where some of the skippers might just be like, we'll just drop the pun and just deadpan, no smile, and just like deliver, like Steph Curry shooting 3-pointers. And it just turned into a volume game where it's like just a lot of puns, you know, back to back to back to back. I don't know if that helps, Nando.
That makes sense. Do you think that now, what if they made all the skippers gain 400 pounds of pure muscle, and then we could pretend they're The Rock, you know? Just like bulk up, creatine, steroids. That would be the way to modernize it, I guess. Is there a town? Is that part of it?
You start off kind of in the town. Like, the line that you walk through is through this building, and I even said this to DJ, that the way that they made it look in the movie is... the aesthetic is very similar vibes to Adventureland, which is the section of Walt Disney Worlds that you're in, that the ride is in. And when you're waiting online, you're in like this like wooden cabin-like building, and you're walking through this whole building, and like then you get onto the dock area, and it felt very similar to that. But so I would equate the line part of the ride to the town, but then you're not in the town area anymore once you take off.
And is it set in any specific time, or is it supposed to be taking place whenever you're riding it?
It's definitely set in a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
whatever time the movie took place in, I would say it's
like,
similar to
like,
that.
Yeah, like 1916. Like
Yeah. And the only reason that I guess that is based on the clothing that is strewn about in the ride. There's a portion where like a rhino gets into someone's luggage, and you can see all this clothing strewn about the like shore, and that's like the style of clothing that's like strewn about.
Yeah, it's like early 20th century, like traveler style.
Yeah.
I see. But there's no like scene in the Jungle Cruise where you like shoot Archduke Franz Ferdinand or something. It's all pretty contained.
And start World War One.
Yeah.
I do think that there's a broken down car in one scene.
Yeah, and it looks like an old like Model T car.
But other than that, it's all just stuff that you'd find in the jungle, so it's really hard to determine.
Right. Is there any of the lore that is like in the backside of this movie in the actual ride?
No.
Okay.
There's stuff from the ride that they put in the movie, but there's no tree in the the ride. They do like the temple with the gold stuff
and Trader Sam, I guess.
But that's something from the ride that they put into the movie, not something that's like was a plot point of the movie that happens to be in the ride. Like Trader Sam is in the ride, which was a really fun little twist thing that they did. And
the backside of the waterfall, that's like a thing from the ride.
Yeah, that was a joke from the ride.
That happened. That's like literally every time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you want to talk about like parts of the script, like everything he did as part of the like first quote unquote Jungle Cruise is more or less the ride.
Right before the title came on, where he's like going through and he like cuts the rope so the thing pops out of the water. It was very much,
and he like shoots it
very reminiscent of the ride itself, which was it was great.
Yeah, that part was cute. I like that. Yeah. What else? I don't know. What'd you think? What did you think of this? Well, no, because you can be in the IMDb game, so you can say later what you thought of it. I don't know. What other thoughts? What else on a Disney side of things?
So I will say this. So when we were like, this movie was announced, we were watching the trailers. Like every time the trailer came on, literally every time, Michelle said the same thing. What did you say, Michelle, about like this movie?
There better be puns in this movie.
I really think that is like one of the word associations with Jungle Cruise, the ride.
The whole ride is just puns, and I was like, if they don't put puns in this freaking movie, I'm gonna be so mad.
And they delivered.
I was pleased within that first section. I was like, even if they don't say another pun for the rest of the movie, I can at least appreciate that they tried to adhere to putting a certain amount of puns in the beginning as an homage to the ride.
Yeah.
If you could, what if we added what if like all of the ride operators, so like not the operators, but like the people in the front that like go like, get in this line, don't touch anything, and keep your hands inside. What if they're all like sweaty Paul Giamatti types now? We dress them all up like little old men. Yeah. And they're all just like super angry with you and like wanting money for some reason.
Can I say something very shameful?
Yes.
I did not know that was Paul Giamatti until the credits rolled, and Michelle was very disappointed with me.
That's
insane. He was Paul Giamattiing it up.
Yeah, the chameleon Paul Giamatti who just like blends right into the background of every role.
I'm so sorry.
He's like the definition of like character actor, Paul Giamatti. Like, I mean, I'm glad I'm sure that's what he was going for, I guess. He disappeared into the character of sweaty guy. But,
well, it's like, because the words came out of my mouth, oh my gosh, that was Paul Giamatti, and Michelle was like, yes, like, obviously.
That's
I
interesting.
wasn't paying attention. I didn't have my Paul Giamatti glasses on.
I think you said to me, why didn't you tell me that was Paul Giamatti?
Yes.
And I was like, I didn't think I needed to.
Yeah. I think you should do that now, though. Every time you both watch a movie, every single actor. Yeah. You're that Amazon thing that happens like when it just tells you who all the actors are.
Oh, yeah, when you pause, the X-ray.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like my favorite thing about the
Amazon Prime
video.
Imagine how it could have saved each
other. Who the actors are. That's cool.
Yeah. Let's see, what else?
Do we want to IMDb?
Well, I do want to ask, I guess, for a Disney person, because you're not going to be on for the whole show. So we've got 4 of these rides/attractions have been made into movies. They've like said they're going to make a couple of others. I want to say there was a Matterhorn ride movie kicking around for a while that I don't think anything is happening at all. That's probably the closest. And then I want to say Big Thunder Mountain Railroad was also one that they were thinking about or something. What other... Is there a ride that you're like, that would probably be a good movie?
They need to remake Haunted Mansion.
I mean...
No, you gotta pick a new one. You gotta
No.
pick
They,
a new one.
well, they
No,
are
I will
remaking
not give
Haunted
this up.
Mansion, right? With the Muppets?
No, it's with Eddie Murphy.
No, I know, but they're doing the Muppets Haunted Mansion special on Halloween. Like, that's a Disney
Are
Plus
they?
thing.
Oh my
We've
gosh,
talked
yes,
about
they
that
are.
before.
Oh, I totally
It's
forgot
gonna
about
be
that.
So great.
There
Right?
you go. You got your wish. You put
So
it
there's
into the
that.
universe and you got
Yeah.
it. Can I answer?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Space Mountain.
What is Space Mountain, though?
It's a roller coaster. It's one of the.
It's a big
coasters.
mountain in
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what is it? Like, what would the
That's
movie
why
be?
I don't know that would be a good. I don't know that would be a
I mean-
good movie because it's not like there's no story to the ride.
Same
It's-
with Matterhorn.
I mean, yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean,
Same with
way.
Jungle
It's
Cruise
something.
and Pirates of the Caribbean.
true.
They don't really have
I
stories.
guess those. I
Yeah,
guess
no,
you.
but they do. You go through
Yeah.
the experience and you get like a vague story of the experience. You're not just sitting on a roller coaster.
Yeah, I feel like it's tough to do it with roller coasters unless they're really like built out with nonsense and not nonsense, but like set dressing and all that stuff before the ride, and then you. But I don't think Space Mountain is that. You guys remember that terrifying alien ride that used to be at Disney World for a little bit?
Yes, the Stitch ride replaced it.
Yeah.
That ride used to give me like I went on it as a child and I was screaming and crying.
Oh my God.
As it happened.
It's one of the
I told
worst.
you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was because it's one of the. It's not a ride. It's you
Right.
sit in a room and this harness comes down over your shoulders like a roller coaster, and then it's just they make it seem like this huge scary alien escapes.
Yeah.
They make it seems like it's breathing on you and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. Ooh, what
What
about?
would have been a good one before they replaced it? Tower of Terror.
Oh, they made the movie of that kind of right. That was like a made-for-TV Disney movie or something.
Oh,
no.
yeah, with Steve
Yeah.
Gutenberg.
Yeah, there was a movie, and it was fine. Like,
Okay.
it's about what you'd expect.
Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember that.
It was like there was a hotel full of ghosts, and a little girl had to, like, I want to say this little girl had to, like, figure out what to do with that.
I have no recollection of this.
Yeah. I feel like it'd be hard to
Well,
make a Tower of Terror
I mean-
ride in the post-David S. Pumpkins era. No one would be able to take it seriously.
Also, I mean, if you heard me, I said Steve Gutenberg was in it. That should tell you the quality and fame that this movie reached.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else there is. I feel like there are others. I mean, like, what about what if we had made the Rock and Roller Coaster the movie, where it's just Aerosmith took a lot of acid and has to get to their tour or something? And it's
Oh, you mean,
just a disaster of a movie?
You mean the movie of adaptation of Revolution X, Music is the Weapon?
What is that?
That is the Aerosmith arcade game where you shoot CDs at aliens controlled by the New World Order, who have kidnapped Aerosmith.
That's right. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what it should be, honestly. I don't think they could call it Rock and Roller Coaster, but and they can't call it Rock and Roller because that's another thing. But something like that.
They could call it Revolution X, Music is the Weapon.
Yeah. What was the thing that used to be in Epcot? People like that a lot with Figment.
Figment's still there. That still exists.
Yeah.
I thought they
Escape
closed
and
it down or
Imagination with
changed it a
Figment.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went through it was gone for a little bit, and then they revamped it and brought it back.
What about Soaring Around the World? Make that a movie.
Oh yeah, California Adventure. That's true.
They have that in Epcot as well,
Yeah,
right?
it's an Epcot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be something where you just fly around the world.
I mean, it could just be like an adventure around the world, right? Like why not? Like they made Jungle Cruise this. Like anything's
That's
on the
true.
table.
Yeah, I guess the question really is not necessarily what Disney ride is the most well known or the coolest, but which one has the most like built-in personality that you can. And I mean, to be fair, they also tried to make that Tomorrowland movie
That's
kind
true.
of mushed together all the Carousel of Progress, Space Mountain, People Mover,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know what else is left.
It's a Small World.
Oh yeah. Like a
Just to
horror
make the
movie
small
where all the
world, right?
Plenty of
dolls come to
personality.
life.
So
Yeah.
much personality. Actually, one real quick thing is that when DJ and I were in Disneyland, we went on the It's a Small World ride, and the one thing that's fun about the Disneyland version of It's a Small World that is not true for the Disney World's It's a Small World is in the Disneyland version they have some of the Disney princesses, like animatronics of the Disney princesses, stationed in their different parts of the worlds.
Oh.
Which was like a fun little like Easter egg to find in the different like parts of the world as you went through it.
Yeah, I could see that being fun.
Yeah, it was cute. Especially because it's not in the Disney World one. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's Belle. Oh, that's Snow White. And then we were, like, looking for them. So it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the list now. Ooh, I got one. Okay. I don't know what this movie is. But what if they did a movie about the Hall of Presidents? Where all the presidents hang out and stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be just night at the museum, but with only one kind of person.
Right? And they'd all like have to fight each other or whatever. Not like fight, but they'd argue. Some more than others.
Did we mention the Country Bear Jamboree movie?
Well, so I haven't seen that. I know it exists. Have either of you guys seen it?
I saw it when I was much younger.
Looked kind of scary.
Yes.
So that's tough. But maybe
Just
it's cool.
As long as we're talking about movies based on rides, it's not really a ride, but it's a Disney attraction.
Oh yeah, I think it's it's pretty, and I think there's a couple of them that I think make a lot of sense, and just like because those are characters people would maybe recognize. That one's up there in terms of like you put that on a poster, and some people would be like, oh yeah, like from the Disney ride. So I think that one's. Yeah. Like, I don't know if the movie's any good, but.
I think that strategy did not work out for the Country Bear Jamboree movie that exists, which I believe was both very bad and did very poorly.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
which one?
It's funny because the Country Bear Jamboree mascot characters, so like the characters who roam the parks, they only really come out during like the Halloween parade time, but they are terrifying.
Yeah.
You want to see some like scary mascot characters, it's the Country Bear Jamboree bears.
Oh man, what if Nicolas Cage came and killed them all in one episode of his life? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm looking at a list here. I mean, okay, here's another question. Pirates of the Caribbean's the best one of these, right? Like best. Yeah. It's gotta be tough, man. They made one really good one, then they've been just chasing that dragon. Although I imagine we'll probably come to the conclusion that this one's not quite there, but it's like it's not the worst thing ever. But it's hard to get back to that. Do you think this movie could exist in the same universe as Pirates of the Caribbean?
Make it happen. Because
would that make any sense?
You could have a pastime one with the Spaniards.
Oh my god! Sorry, right? You just put the bears in the chat. These things are the worst.
I'm joking. They're terrifying. These, they're not even cute scary. They're just, scary.
Yeah, they're really upsetting looking. Oh, my God. You figured they'd give them, little smiles or something, but they gave them, sharp teeth.
They're, terrifying.
I want to meet them.
You should go around, Halloween. I think they come out other than Halloween time, but I feel like that's when I see them the most. Ugh.
These poor children.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Oh my god, the third one.
Right?
That one wants
the
to
eyes
eat
on
me.
The third one. And it's also not really enjoying it. It's I'm in my bloodlust. I'm just going out. It's weird. It's a weird looking one. I like that second one with the awful face. That's just woe is me. I just ate all the tourists. Oh, and the fifth one, I might be the worst one yet. I don't like this one at all. What is that? That girl's being so polite to the guy in that bear thing. And maybe she just can't see it from her angle, and she's like, I don't know, probably looks normal from up there. What was I gonna say? Yeah, could we cross these over? I guess we could do a flashback of this and then kind of sync it up with Pirates.
Yeah, they cross paths.
Yeah.
I mean, do it, Disney, whatever. Anything's on the table. I mean, even without a crossover, are there going to be 8 more Jungle Cruises, for Pirates of the Caribbean?
It's tough. I think if
Depends how much money this makes.
Yeah, sales figures with Disney Plus stuff is so tricky that I don't know if they know if this is worth it to keep making these or not. But also, they did so many things in this movie. I don't know what's left to mine. You know? Yeah. They could go to a different jungle, I guess, maybe, and that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think everything from here would be flashbacks. Or I mean, we'll talk about when we talk about the movie, but follow the end to its logical conclusion.
I mean, yes, that I need to know. I need to see exactly how that changes the world. But
yep.
Maybe it would just be, well, we'll talk about it, but there is an adventure that happens at the end of the movie, something that's kind of teased. I'd watch a movie of that. But yeah, we'll get to it. But first, before we do that, Dickens, you're the IMDb summary guy. I feel like we should give this segment a name,
It's called Guess the IMDb Summary.
It's a terrible name. Like, IMDb...
The great IM debate.
It's not a debate.
Yeah, the
Well,
IMDb
that's what
movie,
I've got.
B movie with two E's.
I really think just guess the IMDb summary. What's wrong with that?
To IMDb or not to IMDb? I don't know. Well, yeah, guess the IMDb summary. Let's play our classic game, guess the IMDb summary.
It rolls off the tongue, Nando.
Hey,
Diggins,
listeners, if you've got a good name for this game, then go ahead and tweet that at Mostly Nitpicking or Nitpicking Pod.
At Nitpicking Pod on Twitter. Diggins, you're in charge. You take the reins here.
Okay, so I have before me on this computer screen an IMDb summary for the movie Jungle Cruise. It's, oh boy, this one might be my favorite one we've ever done.
Oh no, it's that bad.
Now, I believe Nando, you were last time who I was up against, so you get to pick whether you go first or DJ does.
Well, we know the psychology of DJ is that if you do a pretty good job, he'll just do the exact opposite of yours, even though he could just kind of build on it. If you go first. So I will go first. Now, however, if Michelle is involved, I would also like her to go second. So me, Michelle, DJ. Just because that makes DJ, that I think is better for
I accept, yes.
the humor.
Okay.
Okay. I think I kind of had a thing that I was going to go for with this. I'm just going to say a film based on the Disney park ride of the same name.
That's it?
Yeah. I feel like after all the last couple of these where it's like a movie that takes place between Avengers 1 and Avengers 2, like I think the Disney ones of these get real lazy, and I'm willing to give it a shot. Like I'm willing to try it. I'm not convinced, but I think there's a chance.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Michelle, you get to go next.
Jeez. Okay. Based on the Disney ride, a female scientist takes her high-maintenance brother on a trip to the Amazon where they meet an unlikely skipper, played by The Rock, who takes them on an incredible adventure to find the moon. I forget what the thing is called. To find the
Tears of the Moon.
Tears of the Moon? Yeah.
Tears of the Moon. That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, I think I'm going to split the diff here. Okay. Based on the Disney ride Jungle Cruise, a team of explorers venture into the Amazon to find untold treasure, but meet perilous foes along the way. That's it.
Okay. Well, Michelle and DJ, you guys made a classic mistake here, which is that you described the movie. Whereas Nando, I'm gonna have to give it to you by default because you got the closest by not describing the movie.
I love
This
it.
is bullshit.
I love it. What's the
Now,
what is
DJ,
it?
hear me out. Hear me out. I'm gonna read the real actual summary on IMDb right now. Based on Disneyland's theme park ride, where a small riverboat takes a group of travelers through a jungle filled with dangerous animals and reptiles, but with a supernatural element.
What the fuck? What?
They're
That's
like,
fun.
it's the ride, but with a twist.
Yeah, with movie stuff thrown in.
So you see, DJ, you understand why I'm saying you and Michelle made a classic blunder by describing the movie that actually happened.
Classic mistake.
Yeah, whoops. No, Nando totally won that one.
Always bet on Disney ones are weird. I don't know why. I don't know if there's like one guy who's in charge of them all, but they are very strange.
I will say, if any of you had said a supernatural element, I would have instantly awarded you the victory.
Ah,
Man,
damn.
we need to get one of those
Missed
eventually,
out.
where
Whoops.
like Diggins takes the $500 out of his pocket and just hands it to us. Like a price is right. Well, that's terrific. 'Cause that means I won because I, like I said, just understand products and selling products to us. So I will give my summary of what I thought of this movie. I thought it was okay. Everybody was good except The Rock, who I found quite boring. I think we have reached the limit of what we can make The Rock do. And it is kiss a lady. That's the limit. You can't do that. Otherwise, I think the movie was okay. I think there were parts of it I like better than others, but overall, it's not so bad. I would say it's like it's good. You know, it's a lot like those other two movies that it clearly is trying to pretend to be. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I've seen worse movies where a guy has snake eyes this month. Most notably Snake Eyes. So yeah, I think this movie is A-okay.
All right.
Yeah, DJ, what about you? Since you spoke,
I will say I mostly have to echo your points, Nando. I thought it was good, and I agree. The Rock is the worst part.
Absolutely.
Even who played the German soldier?
Jesse Plemons.
I found Jesse Plemons to be a delight. He's somehow really good at playing like unlikable characters. He plays like the FBI agent in
Game Night.
Billy Keith Stanfield.
Or no, sorry, not in Game Night. In the one, the Black Panther one. Whatever that movie's called.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he was great. Emily Blunt. I love Emily Blunt. She looks really good, sweaty.
Oh,
and I think she pulls it off really well.
Okay. Is she on that Mary Elizabeth Winstead level of, oh, by the way, TJ, did you know there's a new Mary Elizabeth Winstead movie where she like runs around with a gun and stuff?
It's called Kate, and I'm so excited.
I wanted to tweet this to you.
I'm very excited for Kate.
It looks like it might be fun. But yeah, she's
delicious.
Ugh.
Yeah, I had the exact reaction.
But yeah, so that's DJ thinks that Emily Blunt is also that.
No.
Only a sweaty Emily Blunt.
Right, yeah.
And then not delicious. Just, good. There's levels, guys. Come on. I'm capable of new levels.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with the direction this is going.
I think it's great. DJ, yes. We just have all of the normal segments, and then we add this one when there's a sweaty woman in the movie, and DJ ranks it somewhere between good and delicious. Not the woman, the quality of the sweat or something. Like how sweaty they get.
This is not a direction I'm not okay with, and I should have thought of it better, but it's fine. We press on. I will say.
Yeah, it's completely out of... Like, who could have saw this going this way? Anyway... Go on, TJ.
One last thing before I pass the mic. Had an interesting conversation. Diggins, Michelle and I hung out with Diggins, another friend, this weekend, and we had all seen Jungle Cruise, so we were talking about it. And we had made the comment that it's interesting how few movies attempt to make The Rock a sexual being, but this movie did, and I would say to mixed-ish success. I'm with you. I don't buy it. To steal a line from Diggins, the most sexual energy we see from The Rock is Hobbs and Shaw, where they clearly just want to make out vigorously so badly. So yeah, it was the sexual energy of The Rock was at a 0 for this movie, as much as they tried, But yeah, mostly echoes down those comments. It's good. The Rock's the most part. Are we sure The Rock's a good actor? And yeah, I thought it was overall enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a good actor for The Rock. Like, he puts in a better performance than I would expect from a giant muscle man. But now we have good giant muscle man actors like Dave Bautista and probably John Cena. I haven't seen Suicide Squad yet, so,
It seems like he might be the better muscle man actor.
Bautista?
No, John Cena. He might be coming for The Rock's lunch.
I feel like Bautista has already kind of taken that spot. In terms of just, like, being a good actor. But I agree with, like, your assessment of... Or I agree with the assessment, like, John Cena is taking The Rock's spot as, like, Mr. Hollywood money make man.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But, like, especially because
Dave
he can
Bautista...
speak Chinese, like, Mandarin to apologize. I don't know if The Rock can do that yet.
Yeah, Dave Bautista has become a wrestler who's, like, a legitimately good actor, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's his thing. And not that The Rock or John Cena are not good, but they're good in, like Nando was saying, in a very, like, Hollywood money man kind of way. Whereas Dave Bautista is, like, a good character actor.
Yeah, I will say also, they're all better than that first flight of these, where, like, Hulk Hogan and stuff. Like, it seems like there just is a class of wrestler post The Rock, I guess, where, like, they all kind of know how to act. They're not bad at it. I don't know if it's the wrestling improving or just like the quality of the quality expected from people post The Rock, or just all of these people seeing The Rock making lots of money and going, oh, I could do that too. I'm going to do that now. Or that all the superhero movies are all the movies now. So we need big giant muscle men in these roles. So we'll take what we can get. I wonder, DJ, is Emily Blunt sweatier in this or Edge of Tomorrow?
Oh, Edge of Tomorrow is the sweatiest.
It's like covered in grease constantly. It's a great movie. So, yeah.
Precisely because of the sweat level of Emily Blunt.
I'm sorry I said I made everything uncomfortable.
Oh, I think this is great. This is right up there with the Quibi sandwich thing. And like things that will never die. Michelle, what did you think of this movie, Jungle Cruise?
So I thought it was a lot of fun for what it was. I found myself enjoying it more than I wasn't, or more than I questioned anything. I thought it was a good time. I didn't sit back and think, The Rock is not a good actor, because my brain was like, he's filling this role this is the role that he was meant to fill. This is not meant to be like a serious role. This is not meant to be anything like intense action, whatever, or not action, but like intense acting. Like, it's meant to be like a silly role, and I think he was fine. I do not think that the movie needed the love sequence. I find more days they have these movies with all of these like plots and storylines, and like you don't need to make a romance sequence in there. Like, you could just have them end up being friends, like a normalized friendship between men and women. It doesn't have to turn into relationships.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel that connection between them. I didn't need it. It felt extremely forced to me. That was the only thing where at the end I was like, this doesn't feel like I don't need this to be happening. But otherwise, I thought it was a lot of fun. I ended up really enjoying it. I was laughing a lot at all the stupid puns and stuff, and I like that they made the brother gay. Like,
first
openly LGBTQ character in a Disney property.
I have a list of these. I want to run through this list because
how many firsts are there?
I have, so not counting the ones that are going to come later, like the one that's actually going to be in Eternals, and probably the karaoke friend in Shang-Chi or something. I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 characters in Disney properties that are the first openly gay character.
Nice.
In some way.
It's always the joke that this character's the first openly gay character in a Disney movie. It's like a running...
I wonder
it's a
if
thing
you guys
Disney
wanted to guess some of them.
Yeah, Disney announced probably 3 of those, like actually publicly said oh, this is our first one, and had tiny differentials between where it was like, this is our first on-screen gay character, this is our first gay character that talks, this is our first gay character that whatever. They did that 3 times, and now people make fun of them for it.
Oh, it's so many times though. But okay, do you guys want to play a game that I created, which is name all the first game. Disney openly gay characters? And I said, I just had to add one, so there's 13.
Can you come up with a name for this game?
Of the segment?
Oh God, I do need a name for this game.
Nando, while you think of that, Michelle, would the movie have been better if at the end, instead of kissing Emily Blunt, he kissed the brother?
Absolutely.
Oh, that would have been funny.
But that's just because I'm trash. But otherwise, I don't know. I do feel like maybe they bonded better than he bonded with Emily Blunt.
Yeah, I mean, they had their moments. I would have believed it.
Yeah.
The cat liked him, so that's an important thing in a relationship.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what would have been so dumb? So if the brother was like, unfortunately, I had other tastes, and the Rock was like, oh, other tastes, and he's like, yes, I'm horribly in love with my sister. Those are the other tastes.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that fucks cars. You don't know what a car is, but I do it. I'm attracted to table legs. Yeah. I don't have a name for this segment, but let's just... anybody else have a name for the gay character Disney segment thing?
No, I'm worried I'm going to say something offensive.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just call it.
Well, as we've learned, if DJ does something embarrassing in this podcast, it gets edited out. Whereas if any of us do the exact same thing, it gets left in.
We'll never know about these greasy women. That part won't even make it to air. That's
no, we have to keep mentioning it throughout the podcast, so we can't possibly edit it out.
Yeah, watch. All right, I will say this segment is called, I don't know.
It's hard because we're all heterosexuals.
First out of the closet.
It's a gay world after all. I don't know. But yeah.
Gay world after. I love it.
I love it. Yeah,
I tried to think of something that rhymes, but I couldn't. All right, so I have a list of, and I had to add one, and also I have one in parentheses because I think this one is more implied even than the other ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, including the guy from this. And not like I said, not counting Shang-Chi or the Eternals, who I know Eternals will. Eternals seems like, to be fair to Eternals, it's actually going to have one. Like a man is going to have a husband and be like, I'm gay, and kiss the husband, and he's going to be a main character in the movie, which is interesting. As opposed to this kind of like, what do you think? We want to talk about it in a scene we could cut out of the movie if China wants us to. Yeah. So in order, I want to see if we can get them, and I think this order is correct.
Are any of them animated?
Oh yeah, a bunch.
Oh.
How about this? We'll do round robin. We'll start with Diggins. Diggins, who do you think is the first of the modern era of like Disney first openly gay characters?
That one lesbian couple in the background of a scene in Finding Dory.
Yes, the Finding Dory handhold ladies. That is, as far as I could tell, the first one, and not the first gay, character or whatever. Just the first one that we had to hear about before the movie came out, because of press releases. I'm not 100% positive, but I think I got the release date right. Anybody want to take a shot at the second one?
You want to go, Michelle?
Yeah. Was the next one LeFou from Beauty and the Beast?
It was, yeah. Now, I watched that movie. What's the LGBTQ subtext or text there? I don't remember.
He was, like, in love with Gaston.
Like,
It's
more
like
so
kind
than
of
he was in the
implied?
original movie?
Yeah, in the original, he really came off like a lackey. Like, he was
Or a fanboy.
not even a fanboy. It was really like he was just doing whatever Gaston said because, like, I guess fanboy, sure. But this was like he was doing it because, like, he was like into him, and like you could see it if you watch like towards the end after the Gaston song. It's like pretty apparent. I think he said something. I can't remember. I saw that movie so long ago.
Oh God, I just thought of a funny line from that. Anyway, but my question, I guess, is like, is Gaston into him at all, or is there anything there? Because that actor,
no, he loves Belle.
Oh, that's right.
I would
Well,
say he loved
but
Belle.
does
He
he?
wanted
Yeah,
Belle.
yeah, exactly.
He loves the idea of marrying a smoking hot babe.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Who's the next one? This one.
right.
This one's the one that I had to add because I kind of forgot about it. But this definitely fits the bill of ones that we heard about before the movie came out and like caused the hubbub.
I think I got it.
Okay.
Is it Rise of Skywalker, the two ladies who kiss?
No, these are just like 20, or there's like 3 before that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I want to say this one came out in 2018.
Oh shit.
18.
Disney property, 2018. First openly gay character.
I only remember... There's one of them I remember, but it's not 2018. And I remembered LeFou in addition to the Finding Dory ladies, but those are the only 3 I had. So,
right.
2018.
Anybody else want to take a guess? 2018.
You give us a hint.
I remember, so my explanation, how I remember this is, and I'm really stretching LGBTQ plus, but I do think that it was implied within the movie, and then in an interview before the movie came out, someone asked the screenwriter about it, and the screenwriter, very much not wanting to answer this question, said, yeah, I think so. And then it became a whole thing.
Was it Frida Kahlo in Coco?
No, that's a good one. I didn't even think of that. No, it is not Frida Kahlo and Coco. Do you guys give up?
Yeah.
Lando has sex with his robot, maybe. Lando is pansexual in Solo.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Because he had sex with the robot.
He had sex with the robot, and it was implied that he was just generally... I don't even know if we have a word for it, but...
Pansexual.
I remember pansexual. Well, I mean, like, is that the word for has sex with robots? But, like, you know what I mean.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, but yeah, so you got that one. All right, next one, 2019. I'm going to say... This one is probably more subtext than any of the rest of them, but I think we all knew what was going on there.
Cars?
What'd you say?
Cars?
No, I haven't seen Cars. There's probably something like that in Cars. What's the relationship between the little Italian cars? I don't know.
Well, listen,
no,
one of them has the car pope, and he would not approve of any of that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. No, this is a movie that is a movie we saw. That it's not Cars. Not that we didn't see Cars. I didn't see Cars 3 or whatever.
I only saw the first
Cars.
Cars.
Rise of Skywalker.
Not Rise of Skywalker. Before that. And again, this one I think is implied more maybe than any of the rest of them.
Something from
this is
Infinity
so
War?
difficult.
Or Endgame?
No, before that.
No, the Endgame dude openly says, "I have a husband," before disappearing
We'll
forever.
get to him. No, this is a different one. Do you guys give up?
It's Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, no. We'll get that, too. I'm going to say this one. Yeah, I'm going to call this one. I'm going to say Captain Marvel and that friend of hers who the daughter treats like her aunt and then hang out all the time.
Yeah. I mean...
I think
how much,
they were close.
How much better would that movie have been?
Yeah.
I think they deliberately made it ambiguous that you could read it that way while intending to never, ever confirm it, ever.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Oh, my God. That thought didn't even kind of cross my mind, and I am very trashy of a person.
I feel like...
Not even, I was like, they're friends. They're good. Because women can be friends like that, guys.
They totally can, and I think that would be very valid, but I've heard readings from several people within that community that are like, there, those characters. I think I see what you were doing there, Disney.
There were also people who thought Anna and Elsa were gay, so I don't know that I don't know that I would trust the online community.
Dude, don't skip ahead. Don't skip ahead. No, I do want to say though, I already forgot. I guess I forgot this. The Grandmaster in Thor Ragnarok is everything. He plays by nobody's rules but his own, but he's not on this list. All right, next one. We got a couple we've already gotten. Diggins mentioned, or DJ, I forget who mentioned, the Endgame Mets fan who shows up and says hello and then leaves. Yeah. And then we also got the Rise of Skywalker kiss. Mm-hmm. Great stuff. Remember when those two characters kissed? One of them had lines.
And had less screen time than someone hugging the slug.
Yeah. It was they tried. All right, who's next? Yeah, we're getting close to the current day.
I'm positive about the next one.
All right, who is it?
What?
The Cyclops police officer from Onward.
That's right, the Onward cop who is who does say my girlfriend or whatever, and then you're like, that's, and it was, and I think that character's played by what's her name?
Lena Waithe.
From yeah. So like that got a whole press thing too. It was a whole big thing. Next one, I'm going to put this one in the Captain Marvel and her friend category. But this is another one that I think a lot of people were like, you changed this at the last minute because you were cowards.
Was it Mulan?
No, I think it's after Mulan, but not that far after. So you're on the right track. Like, you're close.
Something in Soul?
Before Soul.
After Mulan, but before Soul.
I'm pretty sure that's where this one shows up in the timeline. When was Mulan? March?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's after that.
And then Soul was December.
Yeah. So that's a big, that's a wide berth.
Mulan was like May or June.
Was it May? Oh, okay, this might have been before that then. But it was around
after
there.
Onward?
Yes.
Was it Artemis Fowl?
No, it was this year. We're in the this year timeline now.
Oh, so after Soul.
Well, yeah.
Yes, Soul was last year.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Sorry, it's after Soul last year. Yeah.
Okay.
You mean before Soul last year?
No, you know what? Did this movie come out this year?
What?
I don't know what movie it is, Ditto.
I know. This is yeah, it did. It came out this year. This is how much this one slipped right past my memory.
Oh, Cruella?
Nope, before that.
God,
it's another, like I said, it's another Captain Marvel one where if you feel like
Wait,
change one.
Is this Luca?
Nope, before Luca. You guys give up?
I'm like, what was on Premiere Access?
Like, we saw this. We all saw this.
Did we do it for the podcast?
Yeah, pretty sure we did.
I'm like, I'm blanking.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sound like such an idiot when you say it.
All right, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it could be read that Raya and the Last Dragon and her friend from the Evil Empire. This is, I think, the biggest stretch on the list. However, I believe that the actor Gemma Chan came out and said that character was gay, or she read it as that.
Character was gay.
Yes,
but not necessarily with the girl from Fang.
Yes, not necessarily.
I think.
Well, no. I'm saying Gemma Chan is the Fang one, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Right.
Yeah.
Flip it. Not necessarily with Raya.
I think Kelly Marie Tran
not
was like, hey, if people think that, that's really cool. I also think they kiss. But the subtext of the answer to this interview question is Disney will never confirm that or ever let you have it for real.
Correct. All right, next one. We named this one already. Cruella, Effeminate Fashion Man is what I called this one. This one I found the weirdest.
David Bowie character.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like Noel, whatever his name is, Noel Gallagher. He's not gay, I don't think, explicitly in the movie.
He never expresses a preference for any kind of person in the movie.
Yeah,
sure.
I found that so strange that they were like, that this was another one that we got publicized, and it's like,
I do remember that.
Was he though? Like maybe he just like makeup.
I believe I said in the Cruella episode we did cut out one hardcore sex scene between him and the more rotund minion
Horace or whatever. Yeah.
Goodness.
All right.
Jasper.
We got Jasper. You're right. Yeah, we got two more. One we have already named is Luca. Children / and DJ, if you've seen it, two old ladies who hold hands at the end of the movie. There's
also them.
Yeah, but it's also just a metaphor for maybe being gay. Who knows? But whatever. The other one has not been said yet, but merits mentioning. One more.
Was it in Black Widow?
It was not.
Since
like
Luca?
it's this year.
I mean,
well, maybe
it's not the brother in this movie.
No, it is not. And I would say, to be fair, this is the first one that I'm like, all right, that's not nothing. Like, you really kind of went for it. This wasn't some interview. This was being true to the character in a way that was
It's Loki.
Interesting.
Duh.
Yeah, Loki. Two Lokis, both bi. So that is...
But don't worry, guys, because by the end of the show, we made sure to put them both in a heterosexual romance. Don't get too upset.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I do think with this new information and the look the Grandmaster gives Loki, something happened there. Like, I think there was a little bit of Sakaar romance on that, on the Commodore, the pleasure boat, that with the sex orgy birthday song. I think we'll see someday. Anyway, that was a game. It took very long. Oh, I did leave one out because this one doesn't get talked about, but I did say, I think, something about openly gay characters, and everybody corrected me. Apparently, not apparently, this is true, in the Iron Man 3, like, little extra short thingy, you go watch the Mandarin in jail, and Justin Hammer's in jail, and he definitely has a boyfriend. Yeah, it's like an assistant, but it's not the same assistant from earlier in the movie. So, like, but it's like a guy who's like wiping his mouth and stuff. But like, I'm pretty sure they're together, so that's nice. Yeah, that was interesting. What did you guys think of the first openly gay character, whatever his name was? It started with
I thought he certainly was a character.
What was his name? They yelled it a couple times. I was like, is that
McGregor.
McGregor, yeah. Maybe it's just Conor McGregor ruined that name for me. Yeah. What do you think of him?
Well, so I hate to jump the gun, but we never got Diggins' thoughts on the movie.
Oh yeah, Diggins. What are your thoughts on the movie?
Honestly,
and
fairly in line with you guys. I thought it was okay. I was more okay with The Rock's acting than you guys were. I was more in line with Michelle, where I was like, he's doing it, and he's got charisma. You know, the Rock's no Vin Diesel. I don't watch him act and be like, look at this slab of ham. Like, he acts, and I'm like, this is a human being with emotions.
There's something about Vin Diesel, though, where, like, if a woman in a movie is attracted to him, I'm like, I don't get it, but I buy it. Like, I'm like, she sees something in him. But with this guy, I'm like, I don't know about this. I would say, I don't want to have getting completely thrown into exactly what DJ said. I don't think The Rock was bad in this because he's a bad actor. I think he was miscast in this movie. Like, dreadfully miscast.
Sure.
I think overall his performance is fine.
Better or worse cast than Don Cheadle in Space Jam 2?
Oh
my god, way worse. At least the Don Cheadle in Space Jam 2, he went for it, you know.
He gave a performance of his lifetime.
I mean, even so much that, like, when you actually figure out what this guy's deal is, you're like, was this role ever expected to go to The Rock? Like, I don't think that lines up with who I'm looking at in front of me. But
we'll get there.
The scenes where
we'll get there.
I love the scenes where he gets punched in the face. And they're like, oh, sorry, and he's like, oh, good form. And, like, that only works because he's this giant guy who, like, wouldn't get knocked out from getting punched in the face.
And that's true. Or other reasons, maybe. But also, yes. He also said good form to the brother. I don't think the brother has good form. The brother punches and then immediately recoils. You got to follow through with the punch. I feel like The Rock should know that. Yeah.
Go for it.
Like, his punches were not good form. He was probably just being nice because he wanted to date his sister. But, yeah, that really bugged me.
Anyway, it's fine. I really felt like this movie lost steam about halfway through.
Excuse me, Mr. Skipper. Yeah.
Right around the time of the plot twist that Nando alluded to earlier, I felt like I was like, okay, this is happening now, I guess. And then there's a bunch of exposition, and then things got kind of weird. And I was like, I don't know that this works a lot with what came before it. But I actually had a pretty good time with the first half, and that carried me through. So yeah, overall, actually an okay movie, better than I thought it would be, which was trash.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. I think if the movie was the first half and there was no, as the IMDb said, supernatural elements, and it was just like The Rock and, these two people are running away from this Nazi or whatever, I think I'd enjoy that a lot. Those were the parts of the movie I liked.
You know what this movie is pretty similar to when you think about it?
What?
Another classic that we have done on this podcast that also features a man estranged from humanity on a quest to find a plant that can heal any sickness.
Oh yeah.
With the help of some companions.
Can he communicate with animals in a way that is unusual?
Yeah, and he is being pursued by a government agent who wants the plant for himself.
That's a great point. Is this movie... And that's also a Disney movie, right?
I don't remember.
Is it a Disney movie?
I think it was, yeah. It was like right before the access, like everything has to go right to Disney Plus or not. So I don't, we didn't get that confirmation. That would have made it easy to remember, but I think it was. Because they make this movie every couple of weeks. They make the next Pirates of the Caribbean, whenever they get a chance. Whenever they have a property
HBO
and a
Max,
bankable actor.
So I don't think it is.
Maybe he made it. It was just he. I like that people might not know what we're talking about yet, and they'll never know. Mm-hmm. If they're big fans of the podcast, they'll know.
Hey.
Do we want to say?
Yeah, we can say. Yeah, so you're right. It's a Universal movie. It is not Disney.
If you haven't figured it out yet, we are of course referring to 2020's classic movie Doolittle.
Yeah, featuring John Cena as well as a polar bear with a hat on.
Featuring John Cena, unlike this movie.
Yeah. John Cena likes to wear hats in movies now. Sometimes it's this big toilet bowl from Suicide Squad. Sometimes it's a little hat when he's a big polar bear. Pretty good stuff.
Anyway,
yeah,
McGregor.
We'll talk McGregor. Yeah, what do you think of McGregor?
He was fine. I think he fulfilled the role he needed to fill of being the foppish brother who learns to be an action man by the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did kind of like his scenes with The Rock. They had some male bonding, which was pretty nice. It's in terms of making a character openly gay. I mean, they really went for it on this one, in that he literally has a scene where he almost explicitly says that he likes men. One could still argue that he does not ever actually say it, but it's pretty obvious.
Which, like, at this point, I feel like censors are just going to cut that whole scene out of the movie if you wanted to, and then you get it all. I mean, he's still. I feel like this characterization is very interesting because, like, looking at the rest of this list of all these first openly gay characters, a lot of them are like, we picked a random, not all of them, but a lot of them are like, we picked a random character that's like this cop, and then we decided that she's gay. And, like, there's not a whole lot of, like, characterization beyond that. Whereas this guy, he's got all the classic, like, kind of stereotypes. He's got lots of, fancy clothing, and he's, he doesn't like the jungle because he's all high society and stuff. But they did do a scene where he explains it, and I think if they didn't do that, I'd be like, not like explains it, but like goes into actual detail, and I'd be like,
this is what my deal is.
Yeah, just like they committed to it a little bit more. So that was interesting. That actor is the guy in Clifford, right? Jack Whitehall.
Oh. Really?
Boy, does he love a big old CGI animal. You can't get him away from the next movie starring a big weird looking CGI animal. Yeah, I think so.
I thought one of the interesting things that, how they made this, like, it's the Jungle Cruise movie, but it's also the ride. So, like, there were bits that, Michelle brought up a couple of these, where, like, they're throwing all the brothers' luggage into the water. That's, like, straight from the ride.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so in the ride, there's, towards the end, there's scenes where there's, like, luggage floating in the water. Trader, just to go through some of the ride bits that I caught in the movie, and I thought it was good because they didn't really hit you over the head with them. They were just kind of in there. So Trader Sam is at the end of the ride, and he's wearing a top hat in the ride. And so in the movie, she takes the top hat and she puts it on, and I thought that was just like clever, because I was like, that's a really fun little deep cut that not everyone's gonna catch. So that was like fun. The cheetah, I think, is in the ride.
Yeah.
Like in the temple part of the ride. And I
how
can't remember.
How great would it be if, like, a guy in a cheetah outfit came and wrestled the skipper in your boat? Like, everybody had that exact same, like, little WWE routine.
That'd be great.
That'd be sick.
And the backside of water thing was from the ride, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think as far as, like, Disney's good at that, at, like, integrating the ride bits into the movie, where you're like, oh yeah, there's the dog with the key for, Parts of the Caribbean. There we go.
I feel like sometimes they, like, hit you over the head with it, like, where they're like, this is from the ride, and it's like, yes, I get it, that's from the ride. Like, I feel like they did that a lot with Haunted Mansion. It was, like, very, like, whack you over the head with, like, look at all these references, and it's like, okay, I get it, this was a ride.
Yeah, I really want to watch that one now, kind of, just to, like, see what it is.
It's bad. It's
really
very bad.
Oh, man.
I maybe the podcast. You want that to be the next White Whale now that we did Spice World?
Maybe.
Maybe next time we were going to do Spy Kids 3D, we can instead do Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
I mean, but I, like, enjoyed watching Spice Worlds. I've watched Haunted Mansion. I watched it when it first came out, and I watched it recently when I was doing that contest for the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was rewatching it again, I was like, this is not good. It's just not good.
Do you have anything else before we free you from podcast jail?
Yes, before we put up something, like, I don't want to spoil it, but we release your soul from the eternal hell that is podcast.
You mean before we introduce some supernatural element?
Yeah.
You should listen to mine and ZJ's other podcast, Versus and Rejections, where we talk about all things Bachelor Nation, which is great, and all trash TV is pretty much what we talk about. We should bring on one of them to our show.
Oh, like, do a crossover. Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, yeah, I watch all these shows. Well, not all these shows. I'm giving up on the one where they can't have sex because of rules, but I am going to start the F-Boy one. And so far, I think it's fine.
F-Boy Island's good. That's good, but don't watch Sexy Beast. It's not good.
You can get Nando, who watches this stuff, or me, and make me watch one of them.
Yeah, that would be fun, too.
You should both watch F-Boy Island and then, like, join us for an episode where we talk about it. Because F-Boy Island's at least, like, fairly enjoyable, if not just for Nikki Glaser.
Did the boys start differentiating themselves from each other eventually?
Only when they get eliminated.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's a fun guessing game for the audience.
Yeah, honestly. Oh, I mean, sorry. I mean, like, do they differentiate themselves? Because, like, I watched this show and they're all like, I'm this one. I've got a hat on and I'm, tall. And I'm like, you all look the same to me. I don't see it. You're all saying the same line. But once some of them start going, I think I'll kind of figure it out.
A couple of them break out. But yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. They're all generic tall male.
Yeah, and like with the other one, with the sex, whatever it was, the love, what was it called? Sex, love, lock. Yeah. That one, couple of guys, couple of girls. They were all very different, so it's a little easier for me to keep track of. But I'm sure I will learn to love and hate some of them. And maybe F them, And by that I mean favorite them. Because that F could mean anything.
That's true. Fun Boy Island.
Fun Boy Island.
Yeah.
I'm a fun boy.
A font boy. They're all like 18th century sons of English lords.
Yeah.
And on that note, it was great being...
Yes, thank you for coming on and giving us the Jungle Cruise tour. Would you like to leave us with any puns or anything like that?
Happy to be your skipper. I don't know any... I wish I knew some of their puns off the top of my head.
Of all the podcasting experiences you could have gotten, this was certainly the cheapest.
That was a cute one.
That's true.
All right, but we got to talk about this movie, Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And you'd never believe it, you guys. I found something buried in the back of a box of like all kinds of treasures and antiquities and honey and rocks and whatever. It's a little old friend called the Wheel.
The Wheel!
Oh my goodness!
For some reason, when watching this movie, I was compelled to write down a bunch of things that I think were kind of interesting. First openly gay character was on the Wheel. But that's why I had to
cross that one off.
Yeah, cross it off. That one off. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things on the wheel now.
All right.
2 of them could be 2 things. But I do. Yeah, I want to spin the wheel and talk about a thing as it comes up. So these things could spoil the movie. So spoiler warning from here on out. But also we'll try to give a little bit of context. All right, I'm going to spin the wheel. First thing, tick, 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 tick. Okay, here we go. Guys, I want to talk about cat wrestling. Remember that scene in the movie where The Rock wrestles a cat? That was weird.
Now you say a cat, and it is a cat.
That's true.
However,
It
that
is
may
a cat.
give a false impression in people's minds.
Yeah, that's a great point. Can you describe the cat?
Well, the cat's name is La Proxima. Because, well, actually, this does make sense later. I was going to say because even though they're in Brazil, The Rock tends to speak Spanish, but, well, we do get a reason for that.
Maybe.
It is a jaguar. A big old jaguar that The Rock fights early on in the movie when he's trying to convince Emily Blunt to hire him. Which, he didn't know Emily Blunt existed, and we watch him the entire time he's with Emily Blunt, and he doesn't seem to signal the cat. Maybe ordering the steak is a signal? Maybe they've worked that out ahead of time? I don't know.
Oh, that's like the call sign? I buy it.
Who's they? This is my question about the cat. Like, has this never happened before, or does this happen every week and everyone plays along?
That's a great point, Nando. Right. So to be clear, it bursts into the bar where he's negotiating with Emily Blunt, and then he literally fist fights this jaguar. Like he does a choke slam to it at one point. It's kind of metal, actually.
It's awesome.
Wild.
But then it turns out when he slinks out of the bar, the cat works for The Rock. They're pals. The fix was in.
Yeah.
So I would like to say something about this fight scene. So it, at first you're like, oh my god, how is he fighting a tiger and not dying? And then you learn oh, it was a con. But even so, you're like, at one point the tiger bites down on him hard. And in my brain, and maybe this is partly why you cast The Rock for these roles. And I know we'll talk about the other bits of this and why it makes sense to the movie. But, with what you have at the time, you're like, oh, right, The Rock is invincible.
Yeah.
So, he could do anything. because that's like where we're at with The Rock, or at least me after watching like all the Fast and Furious movies and Skyscraper and everything else he's in. I just in my brain am convinced that any character The Rock plays is invincible, and that's just the reality we live in. So I feel like any other person, I'm like, this is bullshit, but I'm like, oh, it's The Rock. Like, he's reached that point, which is kind of impressive.
Maybe it's another reason why I think he is wildly miscast in this movie. Because none of the danger, physical or otherwise, associated with The Rock has any weight to it. Like, I feel like it would be fun if we saw him wrestling the tiger or the jaguar, and then we're like, oh my god, he's getting eaten by a jaguar. And then he's like, does all his fancy stuff. We're like, oh, this is like a bit or something. That's pretty cute.
Right.
But with The Rock, you're like, I guess he can tank a bite from a jaguar? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I see the Rock choke slam a jaguar, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I buy that.
That's something you do. Yeah. Also, so The Rock has trained this cat.
Yes.
For what?
To help him get customers to go on, I don't know, make him like trustworthy or whatever.
Now, is the cat in the thing?
Like, in where?
In the Jungle Cruise.
Oh, I mean, the only cat, and I can't remember if we mentioned it, but like at one point there's like a tiger who it's like, oh, look out, there's a tiger when you're like when there's like a temple.
No, I'm talking about in his Jungle Cruise.
I guess not. No,
that seems like it would be pretty cool in his Jungle Cruise,
right? Yeah,
like that seems like the reason you would train a jaguar. Why does he have
on his Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, he has wooden animals. Why is it the jaguar part of it?
That's fair.
It's just there for wrestling,
and it's interesting, right? Because his whole thing is, so Emily Blunt's like, it's just like a little bit of like, whatever background. Like, he's pretending to be the guy who runs all the boats, Paul Giamatti. And, because she's like, I hear you're the guy to go for boats. And he's like, yeah, me totally.
Technically in his office, that would be, there would be no other explanation.
And so, they get to a point where it's like, all right, I'll hire you. And then she learns that he was lying. So she's like, fuck you, I won't hire you. And then the cat comes in, he beats up the cat, saves the bar, and then she's like, fine, I'll hire you. Like, how often is this scenario happening where he needs to, like, win the goodwill of a stranger by beating up a tiger?
I have no idea.
Like, isn't that a fringe case?
Yeah.
Also, can I just... Sorry, no, you go, Nana, you go.
No, that's all. I was just going to say, you would assume it is.
I just want to say, since we brought him up, and if he's on the wheel, Nando, you can stop me. But I just want to give a little shout out to Mr. Paul Giamatti here, just out here with the most wildly brazen Italian accent I've ever heard in my life. Just really giving it his all.
Terrific.
I loved him. I loved him in this movie.
And just like speaking of sweaty, greasy, just drenched in sweat. And, like, sunburned to oblivion. Great. It was so great.
Just, like, flecks of oil flying off his skin with every word he utters. It's beautiful.
Now, he has some sort of arrangement with The Rock, right?
I think he's the mobster of the boating empire in the Amazon. He just runs everything.
So, we might learn information later that really confuses that relationship for me.
Agreed.
Agreed. He has like what I think comes off as the very like, and we have it, how have we not talked about the other movie this is based on? He has that very Mummy kind of like, oh, you owe me money, guy, you can't do this, like whatever. Like, so he has that, which isn't exactly what that guy does, but you know, kind of like that. And you're just kind of like, I guess, because this is a Mummy ripoff, that's what this character's doing. Mm-hmm. And then later in the movie, I kind of expected to learn something else about that guy and, like, what his actual deal was or something. Because he's like, he comes in and he's like, The Rock, I am taking... Oh, God. It's me, the guy, taking your engine.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Molto bene.
And he takes The Rock's engine out, and he's like, you owe me money. And then The Rock is like, no. And then he takes the engine away from him. And then The Rock just puts it back and leaves. Like, it's not, like, a really tight operation or anything. It seems like The Rock could come and go as he pleases.
Well, so he did steal the key, if you recall.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's how I thought he was able to get it back. Also, Emily Blunt gave him money I just assume he paid
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti his $5,000.
That is what I
Same.
thought too, because she paid half up front, which was enough money. Because Paul Giamatti specifically says, "You owe me the 5,000 pesos," and then she offers him 12,000, so she gives him half up front. That's 6,000 pesos. He's in the clear.
Yeah. The Rock is kind of a shithead here, you know? I'm not saying Paul Giamatti's in the right either, but it's not a good relationship.
Oh, Diggins, it was Real.
Oh,
You're right.
maybe.
I'm sorry. It is Real in Brazil. That is correct. I apologize.
You bastard.
What'd you guys think of the cat overall, the Jaguar?
That's fine. I will say, I'm like, God damn, they're so good at CGI-ing cats. Because they really are. It's really good
Well,
at it.
after all the training they had on 2019's Cats, you know?
Yeah, and 20 whatever year it was, as Wonder Woman, the bad guy turns into a cat at the end for no reason. We gotta get the cats in here. We're gonna figure it out eventually. I liked that it was friend, not foe. That was fun for me.
I enjoyed the beat of continuing him being a con man who's tricking people, because I like that aspect of his character.
Me too. And they drop it, and then it comes back really, like, kind of briefly. Not briefly, but it comes back in the end, or, like, in the middle, and then you get a little bit more of it. But, yeah, I do think that there's, like, two Rock characterizations fighting for control of the movie. First half Rock and second half Rock, and first half Rock is way more interesting, even though
I agree.
Second half Rock is the one that the movie clearly wants to be about.
The supernatural element, if
Supernatural Rock, yeah. Speaking of that, I'm going to spin the wheel again. This isn't really related to that, but it landed on the submarine. So I think, I don't remember if Hannah said this right and when we were watching it, but Jesse Plemons, the not Nazi but kind of a Nazi guy, like, you know, early German
He is
villain.
the youngest son of Kaiser Wilhelm II. Prince
Joachim, that's right.
Who is in fact a real person. The youngest son of Kaiser Wilhelm II was in fact Prince Joachim. Did not get killed by a falling rock in the Amazon in like 1916, though. That part's made up.
Yeah. Or is it? Maybe the rest of the parts are made up, and that's the only part that's true. So that guy, he's the bad guy in the beginning. He's very bad. He's killing dudes left and right, trying to kill Emily Blunt. It's great. We go to the jungle cruise and do the jungle part, and then he just shows up in a submarine. And I like I said, I can't remember if it was Hannah or I said this was like, did they build that in the river? How did he get it into the Amazon?
Well, the
Amazon's connected to the ocean, Nando.
Yeah, the Amazon does flow out into the ocean.
Yeah, but it's full of bends and windy. It's not like a, highway. It's a very complicated network of, like, I'm pretty sure you can't just drive a submarine in. It's got to be real hard. But, that being said, what was my other thing here? Oh, yeah, I think the bad guy is fine. I think his goons are terrible.
Well, which goons?
His goons, the ones from Germany.
The German goons?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
His goons are so, like, nothing that I have trouble having an opinion about them at all.
At one point, he's doing something that is a little weird, if that's the only time he's ever done it. And the goons have a bit where they're like, what the fuck are we doing here? And I kind of want to be like, you know what you're doing here. You saw what happened the last scene, where you exploded a rock and did magic and shit. Like, why is this weird to you? And,
yeah, that's fair.
Like, I feel like these goons should be really on his side. Because, like, he's right about magic and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he's probably paying you well and stuff, or it's a good relationship.
Yeah.
Seems friendly.
Also, don't forget that he is, with Jesse Plemons, much like Paul Giamatti, is bringing just a demented energy here. Just fully committing to the dumbest accent imaginable, and I love it.
But it's I feel like it works for this character.
No, I'm praising him. I love it, genuinely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was very, like, Christoph Waltz in a comic book kind of thing. Like, really silly, but also really friendly and like, hello, I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, but
I'm
I'm
a
like
smiley
kind of
one.
a good guy.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, he's, I did really like him in this. The Does Jesse Plemons look like that guy? Because I think his haircut was a little much, but I did enjoy him.
No, Jesse Plemons looks like Matt Damon.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. After this week, I think Matt Damon might look like Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, Matt Damon's stock is rapidly falling.
Yeah, there is a set amount of Good Will Hunting, goodwill, and Ben Affleck currently has all of it with its Jennifer Lopez butt picture and all that. Like he's having the time of his life, and Matt Damon is just crashing. What'd you think of that big driving scene where they drove the boat like a car and did a jump and exploded and stuff?
It's very silly.
It's wild.
It's very, very silly.
I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I mean,
a decent adventure.
I was going to say, the action beats in this movie, for the first half, I think are very good, and then I think it gets weaker as it goes along.
Yeah, and that was apparently all a set. Like, that is the largest set ever built or something.
Oh wow.
Not all of it, obviously.
The whole harbor area?
The beginning bit. Yeah, the harbor. Which makes sense, because they're just, driving boats around at slow speed, and you're like, this doesn't look that impressive. It does if it turns out it's actually really happening, then it's, kind of cool.
Yeah, it's insane.
They probably could have afforded then to shoot the chase through the market before they get on the boat in a way where I could visually understand where everyone was and what was happening.
You would think that, but also no instead. Speaking of that, I want to tick, spin the wheel. We got wild animals, guys. I only bring this up because there's a bunch of bits in that thing where Emily Blunt is kidnapped in a big box of ravens or whatever. Unbelievable. I was like, you guys got her. A+ kidnapping.
Wow. By accident. It was accidental kidnapping.
But they were trying to kidnap her, right?
But they didn't expect her to go into the crate with the caged animals.
Right?
That's insane.
Yeah, I couldn't believe their luck. I do think it's a little annoying. Not annoying, but I guess there were some bits of this where she was walking around freeing animals, and I'm like, it's nice that they're free, but also that's his job. I don't know. It's a little weird for you to come in and be like, stop stealing all the animals from the rainforest. I'm a very rich woman who, this is the first time I'm here. No one eats tonight, but
oh my God.
I don't know. That scene is a little weird, where she walks around in her pants. What do you think of the whole pants thing?
Isn't it funny she's in pants because she's a woman? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it felt a little congratulating yourself for not being sexist. The movie is not The Rock, obviously.
I agree.
Yeah, I feel like it's very I don't know, whatever happened in the second Jurassic World movie after the high heels thing, where they're like, look at how cool and progressive we are. I can't even, I know they made a second one of those. I can't remember anything that happened in it. Oh yeah, there was the auction. But I imagine there's probably also a bit where she showed off that she was wearing sneakers. I don't know. What was I going to say about the pants? Oh, what'd you think of all the hats in this movie? A lot of interesting hats.
I will say that was another one, probably not as strong, but half an Easter egg where there's Michelle talked about there's luggage everywhere. There's a part where these guys, they get trapped on part of, oh, look at those poor explorers trapped on the island, and there's a lot of different hats everywhere. I feel like hats are a thing as part of the Jungle Cruise ride, so it was cool that was part of it. I like the hats.
The Rock has a little baby's hat. It makes his head look small. I don't know what it is, though. It's like a magic hat.
The Rock's outfit choices in this movie they somehow get worse as the movie goes along.
Oh my God. We're amazing.
To the end of the movie where, again, I don't know if that's a wedge, but boy, the end of the movie, Rock outfit, I'm like, what is going on?
Oh man, he looked so bad. They both looked really bad in those outfits.
It was awesome. She had a good hat. I liked her hat. Her little, kind of adventurer-y hat.
Yeah, she did a fun hat.
And then what's his name had, a fancy wide-brimmed hat. Jack Whitehall had, a hat that you would wear in the jungle because there's a lot of sun, I guess. I don't know. Paul Giamatti probably also had a great hat. I don't remember it, but I believe it was great. Yeah, lots of cool hats. Also, was The Rock wearing suspenders in this movie?
I think so.
What are they making these suspenders out of? Vibranium? Poor suspenders. All right. we gotta start talking about the supernatural elements, you guys.
Oh man, please let's.
So let's talk about the first one. This one I called the Sinister Four. There are 4 superpowered conquistador villains who all map pretty well to a member of Spider-Man's villain group. You have one guy who's made of bees, and he's like the villain who's made of bees.
The Pain from MGS3, yes.
Sure, yeah, that too. So there's the bee guy. You have a guy that's made of rocks, but also like mud and water and all kinds of shit, whatever's around. And that's Sandman, obviously.
Obviously.
You have a guy who is like branches and like trees, and I gave that one Doc Ock just because he like does a lot of like kind of I don't know, like moving around like Dr. Octopus does.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see that.
And then you have the villain who's the guy that's made of snakes, who I deemed Carnage, because I think he's closest to that, where he just throws snakes at you and stuff.
Well, that's Agira, the Wrath of God.
Oh, is that a real thing?
Well, Agira is a real conquistador, and Agira, the Wrath of God, is a movie that Werner Herzog made about him.
I always think it's weird when they put real people in these movies.
They put 2 in this movie.
Yeah.
They wanted to be like some historical epic for whatever reason.
And it's like they're like, I would get it if it's like president, like Wild Wild West, where it's like this guy's a president at the time, so obviously he would be here.
Yeah.
But with this, it's
you can't
like
just have, yeah.
And he meets a grisly death, like tortured for all eternity. Really, one of the grisliest deaths in the history of deaths.
Right?
But yeah, like I always say, like did that in like Wonder Woman with like Ludendorff, and you're like, that's a real guy that she just threw into the air with her lasso and cut in half. That's weird. He has descendants, I would assume.
They're already born. Man, it's totally cool.
That's true. What'd you guys think of the Sinister Four, the Conquistador villains?
So I had originally thought, and Michelle pointed this out too, that I thought like that's how they died. Mm-hmm. Like I'm like, oh, that guy got stung to death by bees. That guy fell on a tree branch or whatever. Because I'm like,
stung to death by trees.
Sense. Yeah, classic death.
Stung
by
to
trees.
death by mud. Stung to death by snakes. The big 4.
I'm just saying. I thought I think you'd have been some credence to that, but
it was just random. Whatever one they picked.
Yeah, it's like I guess you're bee man. I guess you're tree man. But like whatever.
Well, I think the problem with the guys is they're all pretty much the same. Like they have like a little bit of superpowers, but they're really just like the skeleton guys from the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where it's like you can shoot them and it doesn't really work. And sometimes they're a little bit more mobile because of their thing. But like, I mean, you can shoot some of them. You can't shoot all of them. Some of them you have to hit with a golf club.
Maybe we'll have an immortal fight to the death at some point because this movie is just exactly Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I thought they were interesting. I wish there was more. I do think bees was a funny, like, inclusion. It's like, what are the things in the Amazon? There's the water and the trees and the bees.
Well, he got assistance, though, because he had bees.
So,
like, that's interesting.
Were the bees him or bee friends of his?
Friends of his, right?
Yeah. Well, are the snakes Agira, or are they just his assistants? Because when Jesse Plemons is negotiating with Agira, he's doing it to the snakes.
Yeah. I mean, if we're following the Sinister Six like Spider-Man rules, Swarm, the Nazi villain, is just a sentient hive of bees with the brain of a Nazi scientist infused into it. But, like, the Swarm is him. And I think that's what this is. And I think that's why
Then again, later, Jesse Plemons tries to keep things from the conquistadors by not letting the bees escape the submarine. And he seems to succeed. It seems like they don't know the things the bees see until the bees go back to them.
Yeah, that's true.
The movie poses so many questions.
So this guy wasn't the bee guy. He was the honeycomb guy.
He was the honeycombs mascot?
Yeah. It was like a little made of honey man. And I do think I liked how some of the conquistador... I think... All right, let's rank our favorite of the conquistadors.
Let's do it.
I'm going to come up with this ranking in my head right now. I don't know what it is. Like, I haven't figured this out yet.
Okay.
Okay, I think I know. Who's everybody's number one?
B, man.
Yeah, it's got to be Snake Man.
I'm B, yeah.
Yeah, Team B.
Wow.
I think that it looked coolest. It's the most interesting in terms of, like, he actually has a power that grants him some sort of, ability the others don't. And I could see that character being the most vulnerable because it's just like bird in the honey. I don't know. Maybe he just melts. Who's everybody's number two?
I liked that he was the pain from MGS3, and I liked that he ate his own honey. Sorry. Number two?
Oh, yeah.
That was interesting.
Number two.
So my number was the B guy.
I'm going to go with Agira, the Wrath of God.
I think my number two for me is Tree Guy. I think he had some cool stuff. I think we didn't see enough of him, but I think there was some fun stuff there. And again, I like that he's also kind of beatable. Like, if he just kept chopping, he's done.
I mean...
Well, they're all explicitly immortal.
Right. But it's like, I feel like there's some of them, mostly the water mud one, feel like just like they could just walk to you and kill you. Pretty much unstoppable. And then there's guys like the tree one where I'm like, you can kind of stop him. If you like set him on fire, that wouldn't kill him, but it would set him back a lot. Speaking of that, he's my number three, the water one.
I was going to go with
Is he water or mud?
I think he's more mud.
Right? He's part river.
I got Tree Guy number three. Well, he can't be part river because otherwise the ending would go differently.
That's what I'm thinking, but he has to be part water, and where does the water come from? I guess like the sky. He's got separate sky water that's not the river. But, yeah. I don't know. My number four is the snake guy. I don't like him.
Yeah, I got the mud guy last.
Why don't
you like the snake guy? He's the leader. He's the cool guy.
Well, first of all, I don't think snakes are that cool. Snakes are kind of fun. I don't know. Mostly because, like, all the rest of them, like, made their bodies and, like, appearances based off of what they were made out of. Except for him. He was a guy with a face that opened up and spit snakes out at you. I kind of was hoping it would be like a mass of snakes just kind of writhing around to kind of fit the theme of the other guys.
Just a big old pile of snakes.
Yeah.
Like Jungle Book or some shit like that. Like, I can't think what you're going for.
You know what I mean, though. Well, like, just like he is like the same way that when, like, a guy, not this guy specifically, but like in Spider-Man, he could just be a lot of bees. And they all form the shape of a human. I would think it'd be kind of fun to watch a bunch of snakes that are just a guy. Like they're just like all coiled up together and they're constantly slithering and stuff. And they have filled out his armor. And it's him. And maybe they even have like a little mustache. They have like two snakes doing mustache duty. But it was weird that they gave all of the rest of them like facial features built out of the thing. But his, for some reason, was just he had a face.
Right.
So that was what I didn't like about them. I see it's like you guys both don't like the mud guy as your number four.
I thought he was most forgettable.
No.
Yeah, I think so.
He's forgettable, and also it's just like, I don't know. I find that the least interesting power is like, I am mud and I flop everywhere. It's like the least visually interesting of the four,
Yeah.
And also he tended to get lost the most in all the scenes because all the scenes of the conquistadors are in the dark for some reason.
I was gonna say, that is the big problem with two of these guys, the wood guy and the mud guys, that they're just brown, and the movie is brown around them. Even though there's plenty of daylight in this movie, just never when they're around. But they're not like vampires or anything.
Yeah, they could be out in the sun. They have no problem with that. So like, there's no reason they should only attack at night.
Yeah. That was interesting. I think the next thing on the wheel will have to take us through to the actual like twist of the movie.
Right, the supernatural element, if you will. The part that... So this is interesting to think about. The movie has a very Jungle Cruise premise. Like, the beginning part is the ride, and then we are going to go on a Jungle Cruise to find a thing. Which, like, you could argue is in, like, the spirit of Jungle Cruise. Yeah. But then... it takes a left turn that is out of nowhere, not inspired by the ride, and just like what the writers came up with in the writer's room.
And then
like,
but with a supernatural element, if you will.
Yeah, I mean it's if we want to, like, it does seem like they wrote this movie, and for the first half, they were like, what would that Jungle Cruise movie be like? That would be fun, wouldn't it? And then the second half was the part where they were like, Pirates of the Caribbean, Mummy, all that stuff. Let's just do those things.
Right, exactly.
Big old guys, a tree, all that stuff. It's really cool.
Two immortals fighting forever.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that there wasn't Moonlight.
Yeah.
No, that was there.
Pretty much.
Moonlight was part of it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Puzzles. Oh my god. God, this
Well,
movie
the thing
was so
is,
many other movies.
this movie is kind of also the Uncharted movie. Right down to the first Uncharted game is them trying to find an old conquistadors like discovery in the Amazon. There is a World War I German submarine.
Oh man,
it's like they hit a lot of beats, actually.
I want to say I haven't seen it, but I've been told the fourth Pirates movie specifically is also this. Like, it's also Conquistadors and Fountain of Youth and all that stuff.
Fountain of Youth, yeah.
Which I think is close to what this is. I don't know. I don't think it's like... It doesn't bother me that it is derivative, because it's like those are movies, The Mummy's 20-year-old movies, so sure. Like, this isn't a remake of it, so that's good. But it does seem like they just took some of the things that worked in that movie without really figuring out why they were fun. Because, like, the thing with The Mummy is the whole time they're like, you got that one guy, like Brendan Fraser's just like, it's magic, there's evil there, it's cursed, don't go. And he's like, no, you fool. But with this, both characters, I feel like, are like, there might be a curse. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. It's not great if we see it, but also, whatever.
Well, Emily Blunt has no fear, right?
Yeah.
She's just ready to go into the lion's den, probably literally if needed. But,
The Jaguar's den?
No.
DJ, there are neither tigers nor lions in South America. Please.
Apologies. I'm a big Dumbo idiot.
She's very brave.
Well, as long as you're saying
So
it.
brave.
And her brother is he's got lots of fear.
And she's definitely not a Mary Sue, guys. Not a Mary Sue.
Wow, okay. I don't think
No.
anyone's saying that.
Mary Sue. No. Why would anyone say that?
I feel like she is, I don't know. They're both this, I guess. But at least with The Rock, you get a little bit of his weird backstory. And it's like, okay, well, I guess there's some characterization here. I do think there's this, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know. You ever hear in an interview where they describe, like, a character like this, or like Captain Marvel, or whatever, as a badass female character? I feel like the word badass gets thrown around a lot when this comes up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like, I feel like this is a new kind of thing. It's definitely not whatever Mary Sue is, which means nothing at this point.
I'm just being, I don't actually.
But she is like a very, like, take charge, But she also, like, I wouldn't say she has any problems besides the inability to swim. And she cares too much.
You know what it is? I feel like we don't write enough flaws into, like, those characters, right?
And Disney movies in general. I think we've done a lot of Disney movies recently, and they're always just some sort of, flawless superhuman played by a rich person who doesn't want their image tarnished.
Yeah. And it's male and female, let's be very clear. Like, The Rock has no flaws either.
Well, that's why I liked the initial characterization of The Rock, where he's a con man, because I was like, oh, this guy's got some rough edges.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a point where I was like... but the thing with him as a con man is I just never bought it. Not just because he's The Rock, but I feel like his character... I don't know. I do think he was miscast in this. I think this role was written for Pedro Pascal. Like, that's this guy.
Well,
charming, kind of a rogue.
Do we want to get to the
we'll
part
get
that
to
makes
that part
Pedro
too.
Pascal
Forget about
an
all...
especially good choice versus The Rock?
But forget about all that. Just the kind of, like, huckster kind of guy, has a greasy engine that he's always, like, working on and stuff, sweat from his brow like that. I feel like The Rock just doesn't feel like that guy. And I think and Brendan Fraser is a different kind of guy, like, thinking about The Mummy. But, like, and Johnny Depp is not supposed to be conventionally attractive, so I wouldn't say he's the kind of same exact thing either. But, like, there are characters like that and actors that play characters like that we do really like. Like, Jack Black could have done this. Would have been great.
Oh, that'd be fun as hell.
But, like, and it would have made just as much sense as The Rock, honestly. But, like, yeah, I feel like this role was written for Pedro Pascal, and he just maybe just wasn't available. I don't know. Or maybe The Rock said, I want to do it, and then Disney was like, well, that's the rules. We have to let you if you say you want to. Rock gets first right of refusal on every part in Disney these days.
Like James Corden with musicals.
Yeah, exactly. And we're
I
better
the
for it.
Devil's contract that James Corden
the
made.
blood contract he made with all the studios. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's the official mostly nitpicking canon.
Mm-hmm.
And the real world canon.
Have we considered locking him in a big pit and letting the river swallow him into the wall of the pit as punishment? Has anyone tried that with James Corden yet?
No, it's got to be where he has no access to the river. That's the trick.
Right. Right. I don't mean no access. I guess I mean like because I figured the way it worked was like the magnetism of the river was kind of pulling him into the wall. Right.
I feel like that's what it is at first, but then when it can't get there, it turns them to stone.
Yeah, that's
true. At some
true.
point, the forest just demands it.
When do they turn into honeybee men? Like immediately?
The rocks seem to imply that being trapped in the cave for 300 years turned him into a bee man.
Oh, cool.
Turned him into a man made out of bees.
Been mud men. Yeah.
As it does.
Yeah. I mean, I've never tried it. So yeah, The Rock. So The Rock gets stabbed
through the heart,
thrown off a cliff through the heart. Yeah. As about halfway through, a little bit more than halfway through the movie, and you're like, this isn't happening. Something's up. And then
what did you guys think? So like the Rock presumably dies. What did you guys think was the next beat?
I honestly thought there were like two rocks or something. His brother? I don't know.
I thought that the stab had not been through the heart. I thought it was a little further up to the left, kind of more in the shoulder area, and that he would be fine.
But then he like tumbled 20
falls,
feet. Yeah,
hits his head. Like he's clearly
but he's the Rock.
He died.
I was anticipating in my head like the mostly nitpicking conversation when that happened, where we're like, man, he'd be totally dead by this, like, actually. But, it's The Rock, so whatever.
Yeah. I mean, Black Widow had that happen to her in her movie, like,
oh my God,
a couple of weeks ago, and that was
Black
fine.
Widow was invincible.
She was wearing body armor, I guess, and she wasn't all stabbed, but still, she really goes down.
She hit her head on, like, a fucking...
like an air vent.
Air
or
ducts.
Yeah. Like, it's the thing that you would put in the movie to show that character is dead 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But now it's just like they're gonna really be they're needing Tylenol after this. But yeah, so what did you think was going on, DJ?
They were gonna use the Tears of the Moon to revive him. That was my guess.
See, I thought that too, but then I'm like, well, he can't be in the rest of the movie though, and that doesn't feel right. Like, I feel like he has to be in it.
Well, like that, or they were gonna get Trader Sam was gonna somehow revive him or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes probably more sense than my thing, which was the Prestige somehow. I think it's weird. I think it's weird that they did that because it doesn't make any sense. And
no, not at all.
And yeah, it's just way too confusing. I think your thing is probably the most sensible way for the movie to do it.
Like come back from the dead, right? It's like, there's a supernatural element.
Like Hercules or something like that, where it's like this one sacrificed himself and the other one goes and does the climax, bring him back. Also, I guess it would make sense because The Rock is like an in-demand actor. So you're like, oh, all right, my guy can't be in the finale. Throw him off a cliff or something. I have to go do Black Adam now. Like, I don't have time for this. It's a wonderful set. You all have great hats, but I do have to go.
But guys, we're dancing around it. Why exactly does The Rock survive this brutal murder?
I can't even explain it. You want to take a stab at it, Diggins?
Yeah, I would. Diggins is usually good at this stuff.
Sure. So, in the order of events that we see, Agira, the Wrath of God, kills The Rock, seemingly. But Emily Blunt escapes by leaving the river shore because they can't follow her there. And while they're like talking about what to do, all the conquistadors talking in modern Spanish for some reason.
Oh, there's a nitpick for you, folks.
Yeah,
that's a nitpick.
Well, that's the podcast is called Mostly Nitpicking. While they're talking,
that's good. That's good on you, man.
While they're talking in modern Spanish, even though they're 400-year-old monsters who have been basically dead for 300 years, they mention that they need to get revenge on Francisco. And then the next morning, when Emily Blunt is meeting up with McGregor and Trader Sam to kind of regroup and figure out what to do, they find Frank, The Rock's character, washed up on shore, still alive, and not even bleeding from the sword through his heart, because it turns out The Rock is also one of the conquistadors.
What?
Who has been immortal for 400 years. But don't worry, he was the conquistador who didn't want to do the bad stuff. So he has nothing to make up for.
Totally cool.
He was like
and he's just
Agira's
there.
Yeah, he was Agira's adopted brother who joined him on his quest, which in this iteration, instead of wanting a bunch of gold, he was looking for the tears of the moon to save his dying daughter's life. Now you might be thinking, have we given Agira a sympathetic backstory so that we can complicate his character or have like a tragic climax or finish for him, or maybe even a redemptive arc? No, he's still just a monster for the rest of the movie. So I don't know why we did that.
Yeah, it's not even like the daughter is still alive or something. It's like, oh, you could still save her here. It's just she's long dead. One assumes, even from old age, if not whatever, tuberculosis or whatever she had.
Whatever disease she was.
Probably tuberculosis.
Yeah, I think it seemed like that. I can't remember why.
Anyway, so yeah, he's just been hanging out. Well, apparently for the first 100 years, the other conquistadors would just go and like stab him a bunch for not wanting to kill all the natives. Which you think after 100 years they'd be like, all right, we're pretty mad, but like our specific situation isn't your fault, and like we're stuck with each other, so we should all just be cool. Like I get them not being like that right away, but it takes them literally 100 years to trap them in the cave, and I feel like at some point they would have gotten there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Also,
anyway,
what happens next?
He trapped them in a cave where they turned into jungle monsters, like the man who's made out of bees. And then he just hung out by the river for 300 years, just kind of chilling,
dick move,
looking for the tears of the moon for a little while, because that's what would break the curse. But mostly just chilling, learning lots of languages. He knows Latin for some reason.
He said goodbye to friends.
Yeah, so he built the town or a town. Was it the town?
I think it's the town.
I think it is Portobello, which is the town at the start of the movie.
So then, like, does everyone know about this?
Yeah, I assume it leads to a lot of questions. Like, what's his relationship with Paul Giamatti?
Yeah, he must know.
Does he, like, die? Like, oh no, whoever it is fell off a building.
Right.
Like, he has to stage his own death every however many years.
He shows up with a mustache, different hat. Well, I guess if no one's using this Jungle Cruise boat, I guess I'll do a Jungle Cruise.
Well, he, as part of this backstory explanation, we find that he built that boat from scratch himself.
Yeah.
Sure he did.
Yeah. And he absolutely nailed it.
That's what he claims. Also, in these flashback scenes, we get to see The Rock in Conquistador get up, and it's
my God.
hilarious.
Yeah, baby.
And like
he's got a full head of hair.
Too, right?
He's got a beard. He's got luscious locks flowing from his head. It's incredible.
Fucking awesome.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's an insane twist for any movie to be like, also my guy's a 400-year-old conquistador, but it's really weird when The Rock is that guy.
Well, Diggins, to your point, is that why Pedro Pascal may have been a better casting choice for this role?
I would perhaps believe Pedro Pascal as a Spaniard a little more than The Rock.
Yeah. Like, I just don't get it. I don't know. I mean, I think you could do it a bunch of different ways where, I don't know. It's just it's so weird. It doesn't make any sense, but also the movie's really interested in it. How is he poor still? Not the whole thing was like, if you're an immortal by the end, you probably got some change saved up.
Well, he's had to stick by the Amazon this whole time, and like for a significant chunk of that time, like unless he was living with natives, there wasn't a whole lot of other people around there,
Right.
But like, if he built a town that now is a very prosperous town, like how did Paul Giamatti ever become more powerful than him?
Yeah.
He would have been the Paul Giamatti before Paul Giamatti, right? He would have been the Jungle Cruise, like mobster.
Well, but he only had
broke,
the resources he had. If Paul Giamatti came with a lot of money, like brought a lot of boats with him, and then like really got a stranglehold on the Jungle Cruise business, whereas The Rock only had the one boat that he built, I could see Paul Giamatti taking over.
I guess for me, if I ever become immortal, which I don't plan to, because it seems awful, but if I did, I would spend a little time just grinding, just like making money. Doing that, because whatever, it's time is meaningless to you, so that you're not constantly broke.
You're saying you would rise and grind, gamers?
That's exactly it, yeah. I would get them V-Bucks, baby. It's so funny, because you see these movies and like TV shows where there's a character who's like, immortal or whatever, and by the end, whenever we meet them, they're usually doing okay, and that's the whole thing. It's like, I'm Dracula, and I've had all my money, and I've had my hands in all the pots, and I'm super rich. And this guy's just like, I get another $6,000. I could probably fix my engine. I don't know. Otherwise, I guess I'm poor forever. I'll tell you, like, just do manual labor. I don't know. I get that you want to do the cruise thing, but like, you're a very large guy. Do cat fighting. Charge to watch you fight the cat.
You could do the most dangerous things.
Yeah. My God, yeah, that'd be so funny if instead of Jungle Cruise it was like Jackass in the Jungle. I'm Frank, and this is Jackass. Here's me flying out of a cannon.
I'm about to jump into this river with a horde of deadly Kandiru fish.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, God. Remember the part where they almost go over a waterfall but don't?
Oh my god.
The fuck was that?
That was in the trailer, and I'm like, this is like a dream sequence, right? This can't be real.
I mean, it is a steam
I guess this
ship.
is the end of that boat.
It is possible for it to, move in the other direction faster than the current of the river.
I guess that's true.
It's just very difficult to grasp.
Well, that's just how good The Rock is at steamboating.
Yeah, he invented it practically, probably.
It's because it's not like Pirates of the Caribbean where this is the Nautilus. She is the fastest ship ever. She's so great. We love her so much. Versus a little shitty steamboat that The Rock put together with duct tape. So
this is a Nautilus in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Isn't that what it's called?
You're thinking of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I think. It's the Black Pearl, right? That's the name of the ship.
Well, the British one where they brag and then
maybe
Will and Jack steal it because they I get the Black Pearl's a myth, blah blah blah, but whatever the British one is the I should have said Black Pearl.
You're probably right. You probably have the right thing, and I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not wrong. It is the Nautilus because it's Nemo, but it's probably named after that in the other one. Nautilus is apparently a kind of little shell thingy too.
Yeah. Oh. That's what they're all named after.
Yeah. Also, why would anyone reference the other ship in Pirates of the Caribbean? That's really dumb.
Well, and then there's the other one, which Davy Jones has his Flying Dutchman. There's a lot of ships in that movie. The Nautilus is the one that explodes a bunch, right? Or is that not a different ship? Remember the one that explodes in slow motion as the guy's walking down it? That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. That's in not the last one, the third one.
That's probably not even in that one.
One of the best scenes in a movie. That scene's amazing. And it's wasted on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, you should have put it in this.
So fucking good.
It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Just
somehow
they just turn on her video camera and she's like, "What's this?" It's it's just actually they filmed a slow motion thingy while this guy exploded in the future or the past. No, the past. It has to be in the past. Isn't this cool?
Do I hear crossover?
Yeah. I think I'm out of things on my wheel except for one more, which is the end of the movie.
That wasn't 8 things.
It is. I think it's 8. I think I might have mashed 2 together. Oh, no. Sorry. There are 2 more. Okay. First one, we got to talk about the love and romance and stuff. So it doesn't work for me.
DJ Michelle and I had an extensive conversation about The Rock and his oddly sexless existence in movies, usually.
Yeah. I even think it's weirder, the vibe between him and Pants, Emily Blunt, whatever her name is. What is her name?
Lily Houghton.
Lily, right, because of Plants, yeah. Because he almost, for most of the movie, he's this character that's telling corny jokes and is don't run up there. He's her dad, the whole movie. Right. And then at the end, they do kisses in the underwater, and it's actually, I guess they're in love. And there's some bits where they look at each other, but you're also that's how a dad would look like. You'd be good for her. I like her. But there's nothing sexual about their relationship.
Well, it's a Twilight scenario where he's like so much older than her.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but she's not a high school student, so, it's a little better.
A little better, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. But
by degrees, I suppose.
Yeah, I feel like The Rock has charm, don't get me wrong, but it's not this charm. Like, it's not...
I agree.
Like, whatever, huckster who's trying to get one over with a heart of gold. Like, his charm is the charm that comes with flexing out of a cast and stuff. Being really confident and cool. Walking all weird. They do kisses.
Yeah,
they do kiss.
Honestly,
it's true.
too...
Can I just say...
It's odd to me that...
Oh, no, you go first, DJ. You go first.
I was just going to say, given how the Emily Blunt character was presented to us, I'm surprised that they made her a romantic interest, period.
Yeah.
They should have just been like, yeah, I'm not really... It's not my thing. I'm in love with science, and I want to help people. I don't really buy into this other things.
Or just like, I'm not going to fall in love with every person I meet. Like,
yeah,
if there's something there, there's something there. But if we go on an adventure in the Amazon, I'm not also looking for a husband. Just work. Business.
It's like, I hired you, man. It's,
I think the conceit behind the first series of kisses they do is perhaps the dumbest one I've ever seen in one of these movies.
Talk about it.
Yeah, let's describe that.
Fucking dumb.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. If not now, then when? So,
if not now, then when?
If not now, when?
Towards the end of the movie, when they have to uncover the temple where the tree is, Emily Blunt needs to go into a little underwater complex where she's got to pull a lever that will drain all the water from La Luna Rota so that they can get to the tree. But she somehow steps on a tile, despite the fact that she's underwater, that triggers a trap that keeps her stuck in the lever cage. So in order for her to not drown while she tries to pull the lever, the Rock swims between the surface and down here with a mouthful of oxygen that he kisses into her mouth.
Which, no, right? Like, you get a solid absolutely fucking not.
There's
no
many reasons why that wouldn't work.
Why wouldn't it work?
Does he breathe?
Oh, yeah. I guess he doesn't.
He doesn't need oxygen to live.
Yeah, she
that's true.
specifically says when she's like, "What are you?" She's like, "You don't bleed, but you do breathe."
I mean, I thought she was saying it as like a figure of speech. I didn't think she was getting literal about it.
I think she was being literal to set up this specific scene.
So hold on.
Oh my god. Oh, like it's called... Okay.
So
right.
could The Rock... So you can't take a big gulp of air and then put it into somebody else's mouth so they can breathe it?
No, because it has to come from your lungs. You gotta be pumping that shit in.
Well, what if you just take a big mouthful? Go underwater with the big mouthful and then give that to the person.
The problem here is that you would need to create a watertight seal between your mouths.
Yeah.
That they would be able to breathe in from your mouth. It's just there's a lot of moving parts here. I think you'd get a lot of carbon dioxide also, which wouldn't be good for you.
So you're saying the lips of a normal human man can't do it. The lips of The Rock may be strong enough to create a watertight seal.
Yes, yeah. The Rock's lip muscles are so strong that they can keep all the water out while he's open-mouthed kissing Emily Blunt.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty wild.
I buy it.
And I mean, hey, if any of the listeners out there want to link us to the scientific paper that proves you can do this, then I'll take this L. But I'm pretty sure you can't.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be tough. It's got to be one of those things that, Mythbusters is you can't really do it, but we built this robot that can kind of do it. Now it blows up now. And are you happy? I do think, going back to that scene, they have, a bit where, they have sexy time, where, she's like, I'm going to go into the water. But, not in a sexy way. And, now don't you look. We're work buddies. And he's like, okay. And then he looks anyway, and I'm like, I was almost like, is the movie trying to make us think that he wants to kiss her or something? Because we were so late in the game and they still hadn't established a believable romance for me.
Yeah.
That I was just like, I guess this is what we're supposed to read from this moment. Yeah, I don't know. The movie's weird. I have one more thing on the wheel.
Sorry, I just want to say very quickly about this romance. I do feel they are both charismatic enough, and they have enough chemistry that I wasn't like, absolutely not. It's not the worst, like, romance I've ever seen on screen, but it's not particularly compelling either.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know.
I just don't think anything about her character says that, like, oh yes, this is what I want. Like,
yeah,
the you know what would have like changed? I don't know. I think it could have been a game changer if there was like a part of her that was into like the hucksteriness of him, but she's so turned off by it,
right?
That like she clearly despises him. It's like, how do you go from that to like in love with someone? It's such a turn.
There's also the other way to do it, which is to make it not something she wants, but something that she needs, like where she is a person who is like very closed off from other people and like doesn't open up, and then it's something that she learns. But she's actually pretty good. I mean, we hear from McGregor that like the reason he's so loyal to her is because she stood by him even when all his relatives disowned him for being gay. And like, so she doesn't.
What?
She does not have a problem being. Well, I'm sorry. No.
For his
you're
life
right,
choices tickets or something.
Right.
Yeah, who he loved.
They disowned him for having other preferences or whatever.
There we go.
Very
good.
thing he
Very
said.
good.
But his interests lay elsewhere. That was it.
Good. The mouse just put the gun down, or we can continue.
So yeah, but like she does not really have a problem connecting to other people. That's not like her issue.
Yeah. I feel like that's the thing with Evie and the Mummy is she's a real bookworm, you know, and like and then this guy is like, and I think the thing with the Mummy, not to completely belabor it, also in just in a simpler sense, they're different. Like in the Mummy, it's like he's a take charge guy who doesn't want to do this thing, so like he's interesting in that way. He doesn't want to do the action hero stuff. But he's an action hero guy. And then she's like this really determined, you know, scholar who wants to, you know, go do this Egyptian mission. And with this, it's like she's a really determined scholar who wants to do the mission. And he's a pretty determined scholar who's not psyched to do a jungle cruise, but like he'll do it. And I think the problem with it is his character, The Rock's character, didn't have enough of a like definition for it to be like, I see what she likes about him, or I see what she doesn't like about him. They're just like, he's just a very like flat, agreeable guy who's nice,
good form.
Yeah, good form. Yeah, like he's just it's a lot of nothing, which I think is usually what works about The Rock in movies like this. Is it's just like he's a guy going into a skyscraper. What do you need to know? He wants to save his daughter. That's it. Yeah. But
he has backstory. Is that good enough for you, audience?
Yeah.
Like, usually it is, yes.
Remember in Hobbs and Shaw when they made him want to kiss, what's her name? Shaw's sister?
Oh, oh my God.
Yeah. Is this The Rock's curse? Did he kill a bunch of, I don't know, like Brazilian people 400 years ago? And he is just a man who cannot have a romantic on-screen relationship that anyone finds believable?
Oh, mayhaps.
Remember in Rampage when the monkey did the finger in the circle means sex? Sign language.
Oh yeah.
That movie's
oh my god.
How funny.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I got one more thing on the wheel, and it pretty much bypasses the entire end of the movie, but I don't care. It'll come with it. But the end, of course. Well, what do you guys think the last thing on the wheel is?
British clothes rock.
No, that is interesting though. It's a little bit more about the end of the movie implications wise.
The conquistadors trapped forever in an unending hell.
No, but that's so fucked up. What the hell is wrong with them? Like, oh my god.
Give them some Tears of the Moon, right?
Okay, here's a question. This is something else. The Tears of the Moon thing, right? Trader Sam is like, it only happens every whatever, some amount of time. And, good luck, it's today. Look at us. They could go back, right? So, like, stopping them?
Yeah.
Hypothetically? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And they could just camp out and wait for the next blood moon. It's not going to be more than a month, probably.
And they still have the little arrowhead thingy, so that's pretty good. Especially, you could definitely get Sam's guys and go like, here's what we're going to do. Since we have this working business relationship, you're gonna harvest this for me, and obviously you'll get like a huge cut because it's gonna make me a bazillionaire. But no, my question is like, or my thought at the end of the movie is like, they cure death or something in this universe now.
Because of the Tears of the
She
Moon?
gets to take the pedal home. Like,
yeah,
what
they do
did
it.
she do with it?
Like, usually apparently it's a big enough discovery that even though she's a woman, she gets to be
whatever.
She gets to be a professor at Cambridge, which, at the time is actually a very high honor and very unusual to have a woman in that position.
Yeah, it's kind of like that old Chris. I was gonna say it's like that Chris Rock bit where he's talking about how his rich neighbor is a dentist. And it's like the joke is like, if a black man wanted to live where I live and be a dentist, he would have had to invent teeth. It's like all the other guys are like, what did you do? I studied English literature for 20 years. What did you do? I went to the Amazon and made the discovery that is going to cure all disease. I get to be a professor just like you now.
Yeah, that's true. And she gets invited to the scientific society that her brother was presenting to at the beginning of the movie. That was all like, we could never, your stupid fantasies, and led by a woman. A woman?
Should I give my dog a vote?
Has anybody ever done a speech with notes, and then the notes don't get all fudged up during the speech, and then that's a whole thing every single time in these movies?
I don't know where they stole that from, but that was another gem.
Like, I mean, yeah. So in this universe, what do you guys think she did with the petals of the moon, or Tears of the Moon petal, or whatever?
I think
it's definitely the best question.
Well, she's a botanist. She is a PhD in botany because she's a doctor. So I would imagine that she studied them, extracted the compound that makes them cure all diseases, and synthesized it for mass consumption.
I think you're right. So that's good. Like,
yeah, now there's no more disease in the Jungle Cruise world.
Yeah, and the immortal Rock is also back to life. I assume he will die and age normally from this point on.
He's like mortal now.
Yeah, they never really specify, but I think that's what happens.
Yeah. The Rock also in this movie went to the Mobius school of, say you want to get on a thing, and then by the end of the thing, you'll get on it, and it'll be pretty cool. Everyone will like it. Except it has to be something cool like a jet ski. It can't be a car. Otherwise, it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's in a car. His hat is unbelievable in the end of the movie, by the way.
Nando,
we kind of talked about it.
Mobius never got on the thing.
Wait, what universe am I in? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
All my posters are of Kang instead of Captain America. I'm in an alternate Hell universe. What movie are we doing? Is this? Are we doing the podcast for Artemis Fowl 2? What are we doing?
This is the Tom Sawyer's Ferry movie. Don't you remember, Nando?
Oh, hooray!
Oh, that would be a good movie.
Yeah, they'd have a lot of trouble modernizing bits of that for Disney, though. But it's worth a shot. I think the weirdest thing about it is that, it's like, they didn't need to get that second pedal. They could have just got the first one, saved the Rock. I mean, maybe it would have been a little weird if instead of curing all disease, they saved that one guy. Like, it's a weird trolley problem, especially the guy that's like, no, don't save me. But it's a strange way to deal with it. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good point, though, that, like, the implications for this universe now that's a lot to think about.
I mean, like, where do they go from here? Another jungle, it's got to be. I think they will make a sequel. I'm willing to bet they make one.
It's really going to depend on the amount of money this makes.
And I think it made enough, or has enough potential. Like, they're probably like, we can probably make a sequel to this and make money, because, like, the original release for this one doesn't tell us that much, about, like, how much money this movie will make as a sequel. Apparently, according to Dwayne Johnson, they do have a meeting for the sequel this weekend. Who knows what that means, but he did tweet that.
So, that raises the question, gentlemen.
Yeah.
What would you want to see in the sequel?
Hey, I gotta go to a different jungle, right? That's the rules. Just do Indiana Jones or whatever. Let's see, what are some big jungles? Could they?
I mean, Either Africa or Southeast Asia. Those are your options.
Yeah, I feel like, can we do a Jungle Book crossover? Is Mowgli around this time?
Ooh.
Let's get him in there. That'd actually be kind of cool. You know, like he teams up with an adult Mowgli who could like talk to all the animals, and this guy's like, "What the fuck is your deal, kid?" And he's like, "I'm basically Doolittle again," and they team up. Like,
well, when does
I don't know.
When does Jungle Book take place, though?
I mean, they have some technology. I don't think turn in the center. Like, I don't think 1900 would be an insane time for that to take place.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, I think you could go. It did take place then, and it never really came up, or it didn't seem like it. But this tribe was like, you know, a little different than all the rest of them. I don't know. I don't remember anything about that movie besides I saw it and I was like, that's really good. I'll never think about this again. Scarlett Johansson was a snake in it, right? That was pretty interesting.
Yeah. She was Ka.
Yeah, and then they made another one of them. But Andy Serkis made it and nobody liked it.
Right, yeah, because Jungle Book is public domain.
Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe they will. Maybe they'll go to what if we took these two characters and they did all the Disney ride movies? So like the next one of these is like Jungle Cruise Matterhorn. And then Jungle Cruise Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Oh, spin it out.
Because there's nothing about these characters that is anything. They could do whatever they want.
What's the Disney ride where there's a Yeti?
Matterhorn.
Yeah. Do the Matterhorn. They gotta like find the Himalayan temple with the magic jewel in it or whatever.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh, and John Cena can be one of those Yetis.
And then it could be the plot of Uncharted 2.
I haven't seen that one either. The only one I played is 4. But yeah, just do Uncharted movies until you're out. That would be funny, though, if they were just like, listen, they keep saying they're going to make this Uncharted movie, and then keep filming it and then stopping and filming and stopping. It might never come out. So we're going to make the Uncharted movies, but with different characters, and not Mark Wahlberg. So obviously, huge step up. And then we'll just, we'll see if you guys could sue us. You could try. Probably not going to stick.
The problem with the Uncharted movie is they keep remembering that they cast Tom Holland, and like nobody likes looking at him jacked. Nobody likes it at all.
I mean, I do think the bigger problem is Mark Wahlberg with a mustache, but there's a lot to not like about that.
There's a lot of casting problems with that movie, huh?
Yeah. I feel like that movie's actually supposed to come out this year, but it might be next year. I think they probably pushed it because we haven't seen a single bit of it. But yeah, I think maybe they could go to the Matterhorn, do Matterhorn. Probably a jungle around there, like something you could cruise. I don't know. Here's the question: which part is more important, the jungle part or the cruise part? Could they cruise the Nile, or could they walk through a jungle?
I think the cruise part is crucial.
Crucial?
I think you have to cruise somewhere. You cruise.
He's cruising.
What if he cruises the Titanic or something? I guess the time wouldn't match up. But yes. Like, we're gonna do iceberg cruise.
Oh, ready? So somehow the boat becomes a time-traveling boat, and they time travel to different time periods. And
I like that.
Solve the cruise mysteries.
Could they team up with the Mummy? That's a Universal, actually. Never mind, I can't do that. That'd be sweet.
They could team up with Pirates of the Caribbean, like we talked about.
They could team up with Pirates, yeah. They could team up with like Jungle Book.
What about Haunted Mansion? Could we get a Disney ride cinematic universe?
I mean, the Muppets one, maybe. That'd be pretty cool. What about Aladdin? What time period does that take place in? Probably way earlier than this. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, way.
Are there any Disney live action movies that do crossover with it, or could? Like, not Beauty and the Beast.
Not Snow White or Cinderella.
No, not Cinderella. Dumbo. What if he meets Dumbo? Dumbo went to the jungle. It's probably the time doesn't match up. Oh wait, didn't somebody lose his arm or leg in war or something?
In the new Dumbo, yeah. Also,
what war was it? World War I?
I don't recall. I never saw it.
Oh, definitely Dumbo crossover for me.
I think it had to have been.
Right?
Also, guys, we're missing the obvious answer. He would meet Tarzan.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't had a live-action Tarzan yet.
This can be Kerchak Origin. That's what The Rock can be. He can, like, transition into Clayton or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like big, giant muscle man full of muscles.
No sexual energy.
Yeah, always pining after the bookish nerd or whatever. And then Tarzan comes and takes her. And at the end, The Rock hangs himself by accident. Yeah, I don't know. I do think we'll get another one. I think they'd be smart to merge it with Matterhorn because I don't think that movie's ever going to get off the ground. It's so not off the ground that it was a plot point in the Entourage show for a while. Like there was Vinny Chase was going to do the Matterhorn movie. Yeah. I love two things, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Entourage. And they never come up in my real life, but I remember them as if they are happening every day. Like, I feel like there was definitely a Matterhorn. Like, maybe that'll be what happened, because we're getting the Aquaman movie, we're getting Aquaman 2, and we'll get Matterhorn. Getting Meta-Ian, getting all that stuff. Yeah, very good. Anything else about Jungle Cruise?
No, I think we got it all.
Yeah.
It's pretty okay.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a you can wait for Disney to put this on Disney Plus for free kind of movie. But if you're bored, it's not the worst movie. Like, you'll probably have a good time with it.
Yeah, you can do a lot worse.
It's a jungle. There's a cruise. What more can you ask for?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got The Rock. People love him.
Like, compare this to, like, Snake Eyes, like last week. So much better than Snake Eyes.
Oh, my God.
Like, a million times just more of a competent, put-together movie, which is good.
I laughed so much in this movie.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about it all that much, but, like, it's funny and, like, naturally funny.
Yeah.
So.
There was some decent physical humor, too, which I think is a lost art. So it feels like it's, like, all improv, but, like, instead of, like, this character runs kind of silly down this thing and gets onto this beam and whatever. Like, I like that. So, all was all good. Guys, do you want to get to our classic segment?
I would love to get to our classic segment.
All right.
I would love that.
Do you have anything to recommend to the fine people? DJ, what about you? Do you have something?
So I feel like mine is so obvious because I've been talking about it forever, but I'm just gonna roll with it. I want to recommend F-Boy Island because I love it and I think it's perfect.
Wow.
So I want to talk about it a little bit. So in Yes Dickens, I know they don't actually call it Fuckboy Island.
It's a travesty is what it is.
Yeah.
I just think HBO Max only thinks they can get away with so much. So they're like, we'll call it F-Boy Island, and that'll be as far as we take it.
Use your imagination. Pick an F. Frankenstein Boy Island. France Boy Island. You know, whatever.
Just don't ask Matt Damon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's funny. He leaves the island immediately. His daughter was like, "You can go to F-Boy Island," and he was like, "No, thank you." Fire Truck Boy Island. What if they all had same exact show, just they all have a fire truck, or they have a box that might have a fire truck in it, like a little toy.
Ooh.
And then that's the whole thing. It's like, does he have a fire truck or not?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, so in this show, the F-Boy is implied fuckboy. And so the premise of the show is there are... Oh, I know. Virgin ears. There are three female contestants. Like, kind of like, I guess, like Bachelorette style. And there are 24 men who are pining for their affection. 12 of them are self-proclaimed nice guys. Like, people you bring them to your parents and, you know, hold the door for you, all that stuff. And then the other 12 are self-proclaimed F-boys. Sleep around, you know, here just to party, have a good time. Not here to find love. Additionally, there is a $100,000 prize on the line. It is not clear how that prize is won, but the F-boys are there explicitly for the money. They're not there to find love or any kind of relationship or anything like that. And then that's part of the, like, deal with, you know, oh, who are the F-boys?
Now, what is an F-boy? I would love to know this, if it is fuckboy. And,
nail down a definition.
Frankenstein boy. Yeah, what does a fuckboy mean?
I would say someone who's overly bro-y, you know, sleeps around with a lot of different women, is really a tried-hard, trying, to get girls at a club, like, hey, girl, let me, buy you a drink, whatever, like slides upon you, kind of, not like skeevy, but, not a gentleman. It's almost like the exact opposite of a gentleman.
Does not chug his respect women juice.
Exactly. Precisely, Biggins. Whereas the nice guys do.
Right.
So, basically, all the men are trying to get to know the women. And I think what really makes the show click is there's a few things. In my opinion, the three women who they cast as the contestants, CJ, Nakia, and Sarah, I think they're not great decision makers. Because I feel like you should be an average person, right, would be like, oh, that's a fuckboy, that's a nice guy, let me get rid of the fuckboys and, keep the nice guys. But the problem is these women have no radar for it, and they're just chasing looks. So, they're eliminating a lot of nice guys, and it's hilarious. And they're like, oh, this isn't good. Because, they don't want a lot of F-boys to be there. They're like, we got to keep nice guys around because we want nice guys.
So is this F-girl island as well? Is this the F?
Perhaps,
just the island
honestly.
of Fs and G's and B's?
I think the problem we're running into here is that anyone who voluntarily describes themselves as a nice guy is probably also a real fucker.
Well, and anybody who goes on a reality dating show is clearly an F-boy, which means if you're a guy who goes on a reality dating show and says you're an F-boy, you're a serial killer or something. Like, that is an upper tier of villains. That's what I don't understand. Is everybody on this show is an F-boy because they're on a reality dating show. They didn't take some of these people from the Nobel Prize winner pool or something.
Well, if I may, Nando, I think that's some of the allure of the show, is that we truly have a pool of despicable humans at our disposal here, and I think it makes for, like, pretty good television, how they're all just kind of colliding into each other, and I think it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm deriving my joy from it. A couple other things, because it's like a new television show, right? Like, you know, just like season 1 of a brand new effort by HBO. There's a lot of twists and turns, and I don't want to spoil it because I want to give people the opportunity to, you know, discover these twists and turns as they may arise. But they really do, like, expand the aperture of, like, what can be on a reality dating TV show, I think.
Penetration? Full on, just like every angle possible. That's an F-boy island for you.
So, not quite as graphic, but I know, I just think the fact that there are 3 leads and, like, you know, usually it's either like a Love Island where everyone couples off, or it's a Bachelor where it's everyone's trying to find one person's affection.
Right.
But in this, it's like, oh, there's 3 women, so, you know, maybe you find, you know, one person, but the girls, like, for whatever reason, this is another thing, the girls are like, well, we want you to explore relationships with all of us, so you're not just, you know, trying to be with one of us. And I'm like, wait, what? But that's something that they want. And it's just, like, very interesting how it plays. Michelle said it. Nikki Glazer's great.
Yeah, she's fun.
I think a host adds a lot to the show. I think the biggest problem with, like, The Circle and Too Hot to Handle is there's no host.
What are you talking about?
I think
The Circle has a host.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Michelle Buteau, she is such a host. She's a personality, at least.
All right, I guess with The Circle it doesn't work because the whole premise is that everyone's isolated. So the host isn't going to, like, walk into every room and be like, hey. But, like, Too Hot to Handle doesn't.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Sexy Beast did not, and I think it really failed there pretty hardcore. But I think Nikki Glazer's really good because she's, like, also good at making everyone uncomfortable because, like, they're all so young, right? They're in their 20s. I don't know how old Nikki Glazer is, but, like, she will just, like, drop, like, a casual dick joke and, like, for some reason everyone gets, like, really uncomfortable. And I don't know. I just, like, think there's something there. I also am just, like, a fan of her comedy. But, yeah, I would encourage anyone to watch the show. Like, dig in. See, I know you don't usually watch, like, reality, like, dating shows. But, like, give the first episode a shot. Like, I don't know. See what you think of it. I think it's interesting enough.
I don't know. Your description of the show sounds nightmarish to me. Like, if you like this kind of thing, then, like, yeah, I'm sure it's great. But, like, to me, I'm like, I can't imagine things I would want to watch less.
What if in the end... What if the biggest twist of all was that we get to the end and it's like we were talking about which one is and isn't a Frankenstein this whole time? Like, we never said what the F-boy was because we couldn't say it, and then, like, that just completely changes the game. And then they have to determine which one is the Frankenstein by, like, testing them with fire or something. I don't know.
I was a Frankenstein boy the whole time.
Yeah, right? Like, I'm trying to think of what a fun F would be where it's like, oh my god, this man is clearly a... And now I can't think of an animal that starts with F. Flamingo boy. Like, and just, it's a flamingo dressed like a person, that Chicken Fry Animaniacs.
I was suspicious when I noticed his neck was 2 feet tall, but, you know, I wanted to give him a chance.
Yeah.
Guys, I figured it out.
Uh-huh.
It's Furry Boy Island.
Oh, man.
The F-boys are all furries. They're
on the wrong show, then. They just did that on a different show. I guess if they're specifically island furries, then, like, yeah, this is their cup of tea. I did hear, what did you say?
DJ, there is a way, actually there's a way that this show can win me. They, when they are discussing on the show, the people on the show, do they say the full word and bleep the first part, or do they say F-boy out loud with their human mouths?
They say F-boy out loud.
Fuck this show. Fuck this show.
I love it. I think one of the things is I did watch the first, or maybe half of the first episode. They go on like this little date, like, I don't know, like party where all the guys have to just like all crowd around the girls and just go like, "Hi, I'm Ben," whatever. At one point, one of the guys who's probably an F boy. I mean, like I said, they're all F boys, but he says to camera, he's like, "I want to go talk to third one because no one was talking to her," and I'm like, "This is gonna get me into her VIP room," which is like a thing. And the next thing that happens is he goes up to her and starts talking to her, and then she does her little like narration confessional where she's like, "He came and talked to me, which was nice because nobody else is coming to talk to me." And I'm just watching like, "Oh no, girl, don't do that." He's getting you immediately. Like, it's kind of fun to watch all of this happen in real time and hear them talk about it, but it's also like, I just wish they were Frankensteins or something. I wish there was something. Farquaad boys, little kings.
So, like, Diggins, the idea of hot people making bad decisions is not a pitch that appeals to you? Like, that's
I don't like being forced to look at hot people.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
That's why you took all the mirrors out of your apartment, isn't that right?
Yeah.
I want to see a hot person making a bad decision.
I just gotta look in a mirror, baby.
Yeah. Oh.
So, yeah, like, that's our recommendation. Again, if you're into any of those kind of shows, I think the show's really going to succeed. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. And what's cool is, like, so they dropped 3 episodes last Thursday, and then it's 1 episode a week. So I like that they're, like, metering the content. So
that is the selling point for me, honestly. Is like, it's not The Bachelor, where, no, like, I hate The Bachelor, but it's a little something different. And it's not all at once, so you're not completely, always behind. So
we could like actually talk about it and be like, "Oh, we know exactly where we are."
Yeah, I got to catch up, but I'm gonna start.
You do have to catch up.
I knew I had to get through whatever the other one was.
Too Hot to Handle.
Too Hot to Handle, and now I've done that, or I've gotten as far as I'm gonna watch before it just gets schmaltzy and boring. So now I think I have time in my life for this other thing. Like, I put these on while I'm editing and doing work, and it's decent background television.
I will say, let me know when you get to the end of episode 3 for F-Boy Island, because it truly is crazy.
Okay.
Like, I really don't want to spoil it, but I think...
Do the boys F each other?
Oh, man.
That would be fun. Whoever F's the most boys wins the island. Oh, no. I mean, he said it and stuck on you, so it's fine, guys. It was...
Oh, God.
That's my favorite part of the whole story. Is his daughter was like, "You can't say that." And it's like, no. I said it. It's stuck on you. Oh, all right. Dickens, what about you? Got anything to recommend to the fine people? If it's stuck on you, then you can take that back.
or just Matt Damon as a person. I'd like to recommend Matt Damon.
Yeah. No. My recommendation is entirely Matt Damon free. In fact,
nice.
I
hope all of them are this week.
I imagine I probably share this week's rec with Nando.
Oh, do you? Because of my Twitters?
I don't know if you tweeted about it, but I know that you wanted to see it.
Oh, no, this is something different, but go on. I haven't seen it yet. I will. On my list. Yeah.
Well, then,
yeah.
Last year, before there was a pandemic, there was supposed to be a major event around this time of year. There was supposed to be something that I think would have changed us as a country, I think, for the better.
Absolutely.
If it had been able to go through. This was...
If not us, definitely the UK,
Yeah, possibly the world,
Yeah.
I don't want to limit its reach.
A lot of lit majors would have been born.
Unfortunately... the pandemic forced this event to be canceled. We've had it parceled out to us now, in a somewhat diluted form, in the sense that it wasn't all concentrated together. But we have all the pieces in our hands now. And I think we can say with confidence that it would have been just a truly earth-shattering event if it had been allowed to go through. I speak, of course, of the Hot Dev Summer.
Hot Dev Summer, Hot Dev Summer. He is running around in a book, but a movie. That's all I got. That's the song.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's the official theme song, yeah.
He is more handsome than you kind of thought the character would be when you read the book.
Now, we already long ago had gotten, and I believe Nando had wrecked, the personal history of David Copperfield.
Yes.
Which was the first half of the Hot Dev Summer. But now we have finally gotten the second half of the Hot Dev Summer, which is The Green Knight. This is a movie adaptation of the Green Knight. Gawain in the Green Knight is the full title, which is an Arthurian legend. One of the oldest surviving written texts of the Arthurian legends. It is an A24 movie, which means it is moody and weird, but it's moody and weird in a good way.
Nice.
It's very. It gets by on vibes a lot. It's very strange and kind of abstract and symbolic in a certain way that makes it. I mean, it's very visually beautiful, and then also it kind of just has this weird mysterious energy to everything that happens, where everything is just a little bit strange, a little bit not normal. I can't think of other words. But
eerie or
eerie,
unsettling.
yeah. Some of it's unsettling, but some of it is just odd. But. Mm-hmm. If you're unfamiliar with the story of Gawain and the Green Knight, essentially a mysterious green knight, as in a man who's literally green, although in the movie they interpret that slightly differently, shows up and wants to play a game where one of Arthur's knights gets to attack him, and whoever does it gets the stranger's axe, but they also have to go find him a year later and let him give them the same wound. So Gawain volunteers and, like a chump, cuts the guy's head off. But then the guy, being magical, just gets up and is like, all right, cool, here's my axe. I'll see you in a year, idiot. And so the movie is primarily focused on his journey to find the Green Knight and let him cut his head off. But yeah, no, like I said, it's very, very vibe heavy, and also it's in its own way very faithful to the original story, while also kind of subverting it in a lot of ways and doing a lot of interesting things. I felt with the idea of the original myth and its themes, and kind of honoring them while at the same time really examining them through a different lens. This Gawain. It's kind of like a early 20s shithead. It's kind of
an F boy,
an F boy, yeah.
He's kind of an F boy. He is kind of an F boy.
How about that?
Wowee.
And it's just I don't know. It's an interesting interpretation. I was really glad I saw it. I highly recommend it to anyone if any of that sounded interesting to you. Nando, I can't wait to hear what you think when you see it.
I know. I really have been kind of dragging my heels on going to movies, but between that, Pig, and something else that I can't remember, there are quite a few things that I want to see in theaters that aren't, Suicide Squad and whatever, and the Sordid Fair.
I believe Pig is on streaming now. You have to rent it.
Oh, get out!
Oh, it is? Oh,
nice.
Man. I need to watch that then.
I mean, I still want to see the Sparks documentary, but I feel like that's probably out of theaters. But they're just... It's tough. I should go during the day. I think the problem is, I want to go, a movie like that is going to be, good. I want to go with Hannah. I want to, but I also want to go during the day when nobody's there, So it's this catch-22 where it's I can go see Snake Eyes whenever I want. No, I'm not dragging another soul to see Snake Eyes,
yeah.
But it's I could go see that during the day, but, I don't want to, I don't want to miss out on that. So... We will see. But yeah, that is that I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Hey.
Yeah, that is cool. How do you think it fits into the King Arthur Guy Ritchie cinematic universe?
Oh my God.
Well,
big old
the King
elephants
Arthur
in this one.
The King Arthur in this one is old, so it could be the end of that King Arthur's life.
I hope that's what it is. We'll find out. Cool. I have a couple of recs. First one, I think I didn't rec this. I don't think I wrecked this before. Did I recommend a museum ever a couple weeks ago?
No.
I think I forgot to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think before we recorded last week, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I recommended the Finger Lakes when I went to the Finger Lakes.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, don't worry, I have just a silly one. And it never materialized.
Yeah,
so,
I forget sometimes. Also, it's not quite as silly because I do think this is a little bit more of like a thing. But in Philadelphia, obviously, we have the big old art museum with the steps, which is great. Lots of interesting paintings and, modern art, classical art. You got your Mondrians, you got your Matisses, you got your Van Gogh, you got your, who else is big? Who are those two guys that have the same name?
Monet
and Manet. Yep.
Manet.
You got your Diego Rivera's, all that stuff. All the pictures, all the paintings that if someone saw them, they'd be like, oh, yeah, I've seen it before. We also have a museum a little bit down the street, in a couple blocks, that is just Rodin sculptures. Nice small museum, got a really pretty courtyard where they have, like Rodin, the thinker guy, did a lot of sculptures, and they have reproductions of them, and it's very cool. It's a very good museum. I feel like the thing with it's nice to see a painting in person that's like, wow, that's what the painting is. Sometimes you can look at it and go, oh, the brushstrokes actually give a little bit of depth, and seeing it all big, that really changes my experience of it, which is true. But with a statue, it's like, well, there's no way to approximate this by just looking at a picture of it. So I do think there's something to, like, if you're like, I'm not going to go to an art museum just to look at things I've seen before, you've never seen this unless you've seen it in person. But yeah, he's a cool guy. There's also other stuff in there. Like, they give other sculptors, but I do enjoy a nice sculpture museum. So definitely worth the time. And if you go to like the other one, if you go to the art museum, get tickets to this one for free. So worth checking out. Comics. I got 2 this week. Besides another X-Men one, which I haven't read yet. But 2 from last week. New Superman series called Superman Son of Kal-El, written by Tom Taylor. It's the story of Jonathan Kent, the child of Superman and Lois Lane. It's good. His hands are weird. I don't know what they were doing with those hands. But I like the book a lot, and I think there's interesting things they could do with that. Other one, the Milestone reboot, kind of whatever we're calling this, where they're taking those characters like Static Shock and redoing them. They just started issue 1 of Icon and Rocket. So for people that didn't watch Young Justice, which is pretty much all that character's known from, like in the current consciousness, Icon is this weird alien black Superman, but if he showed up in the olden times and was found by slaves and kind of was eternal and lived through history, and he was kind of closed off from society, and then he's found by this kind of precocious isn't the right word, but just like a kid that's like, hey, do something besides nothing, and he's like, all right. So it's an interesting book. I had a feeling I'd enjoy it, and I really liked Static, but I think, I didn't know too much about this character, so worth a read. We'll see how the series does. And there's a new Nice House on the Lake, which is my favorite series, and I can't wait to read that after this is done. Other thing, though, I watched a movie. I watched the first half of a movie, but I haven't finished it because this is another one where I'm going to watch with Hannah later. But I will say, from watching the first half of it, which was really what I wanted to see, I can already tell it rules. And I don't want to talk about it at all.
Okay.
Besides to watch it and just, kind of keep an open mind. And it is on Netflix, but try not to look at the Netflix of it because it's mind-blowing. The splash page, when you click on, if you look at the poster, you're like, oh, there's something going on. This is interesting. This isn't quite what I'd expected. But it's not like anything crazy. And then you go to the splash page for the actual, you click on the poster, and there's just like this image that is such a spoiler. No business being there. And
really,
it infuriated me because I was really like, I'm not going to look at the poster. I'm not going to read the description. I'm just going to click this and be done. And I clicked that first one before I even, thought like, oh, there's going to be a big picture up here. That, yeah. I mean, I don't think that ruined the experience of the movie for me, but if you can go in blind to this one, do it. The movie is called, I realize I haven't said this yet, Blood Red Sky. It is German. It has subtitles, but not all the characters speak German all the time. So it's all over the place. But so it's subtitles, but in the beginning you'll be like, they're speaking English, but it's fine. It's really cool. I liked it. I like the part I've seen, but I think I've gotten far enough where I'm in. So definitely worth a watch. Like I said, it's on Netflix. Do your best to just not see the pictures that Netflix flashes in front of your eyes. Yeah. But yeah. So those are my recs. And nice. There probably will be one next week for a certain Task Force Exercise Squad, which will be out next week. That's what we're doing next week. Am I right, fellas?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Apparently it's great. Apparently John Cena is great.
I love him. I really do. If it wasn't for all that China shit, he'd be like one of my favorites. And it's not his fault. Like, he's not the only one doing it, but he's like the most recent one. But the interviews he's done and all the stuff he's doing on camera, like promoting it where he's wearing the suit, seems like he's having a blast. Yep. So happy for him.
And he's gonna be wrestling soon, which is great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, SummerSlam versus Roman Reigns.
Oh,
so yeah, he's like back wrestling and shit. It's a hot Cena summer.
Cena summer. Well, next summer will be that too, because he's got the Peacemaker show coming out, which I believe is a prequel. So doesn't spoil whether he lives or dies. But I'm down for a hot Cena summer. I mean, it's no hot dev summer, but yeah, take it and get it at this point.
I understand.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything to plug, DJ?
Michelle already gave you Roses and Rejections, so just check that out. Nothing else there.
That's what I figured. Diggins, what about you?
Just my usuals. You have my newsletter at alittleperspective.substack.com. And then also I stream on twitch.tv/This Is an Odd Name. I've been playing some classic Sonic games recently. Probably going to get back to Disco Elysium soon. Maybe some other stuff. We'll see.
Nice. That's fun. Put out a video. I did a thing, like one of those collaborations I do once a year with a bunch of people. Did scenes about villains. So those are fun. They're very good. So look for that. What was the other thing? Oh, also, I feel like I probably haven't even talked to you guys about this. Depends on when this goes out. But if it goes out on Thursday, I'm doing a stream on Thursday on my YouTube channel. It's like a gaming stream for charity kind of thing. So I will be doing that if this goes out on Thursday. If it doesn't, then I won't.
What time?
I mean, I will still be doing it, but it will have happened. I'm thinking I'm going to play a video game about a villain. I mean, I have some of the people that were in the thing come on and like talk and chit chat and stuff.
That's cool.
But I looked it up and I looked at a list of games about villains, and it's like Lego DC supervillains. Like, that's fun. And then like this one where it's like, what if you're a soldier or whatever? And then apparently the Goose game counts, so that's what I'm doing.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
So, I haven't played it except for that one time I played it at your place, DJ. So I'm looking forward to that.
Ago,
yeah, right? Oh my god, that was years ago.
What time are you doing that?
I'm looking at between 5 and 10 p.m. So all over the place in terms of like when people are going to jump on and when I expect people, and that's Eastern Standard Time. So when I expect people to be like, you know what, I'll check in. I'm assuming what I'm going to be doing is fumbling around with a rake or whatever. Like, for what I've seen, it's just going to be me doing the same task over and over again.
It is a lot of that.
And not getting caught by a certain man. But if either of you guys are free, you're welcome to come on and say hi and critique my goosing.
I could
the goose
I'll unfortunately be watching Suicide Squad for most of that time.
That's what I figured. Yeah, it's tough. But
I will be busy starting at 7, but I could come in for the beginning parts.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep in touch with you guys, but also definitely to people that are watching, that are listening to the podcast. It'll be on my YouTube channel, so you'll see it there. But yeah, so that'll be fun.
We will endeavor to get this podcast out before that happens.
Yeah, you know, if we
can do it.
If it happens, it happens. Yeah, next week's Suicide Squad. Squad, if you ask me. It's not the second one, but might as well be. Until next week, I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woohoo!
Bye. We love you.